is a vastly improved Atlanta team, a team which has not allowed a touchdown pass in the last 16 quarters, and they've had 7 interceptions in the last 3 games. Working with me again is Hank Stram. Hank, what can we expect today?
Well, I think, you talked about the Atlanta Falcons, Timmy. I think the big thing about the Atlanta Falcons is that they're at a stage in their career where they believe strongly and they see clearly. They think they can win, and the idea they have to expose today is the fact that they have to change that performance level to action here this afternoon.
Joe Montana, the starting quarterback for the 49ers now. Is he the key?
He's one of the 3 keys, I think. It's a triple dip thing, Timmy. I think that you have to talk about Montana, who has completed 59% of his passes. Roger Craig has averaged 5 yards a shot running the football. And, of course, Jerry Rice, 20 yards a reception. Very, very strong. And these 3 people have to do an excellent job of expressing that skill and ability here this afternoon.
All right, Hank, here's the playoff picture. And keep in mind as you look at this, if San Francisco wins today and New Orleans loses to Minnesota, the 49ers could wrap up the NFC West with a win next week. It's that simple. As you look at the Falcons, mathematically still alive, but I think realistically they're playing for 8-8 and just trying to finish strongly for next year. San Francisco's kicking off. Mike Cofer. He'll be kicking deep to Evan Cooper and Tim Gordon. And Cooper takes it about 5 yards deep, no return, so they'll bring it out to the 20. A good look at the young Chris Miller, and he is a strong-armed quarterback who really seems to have a concept now of what's trying to be done by the Falcons. Defensively, he'll be facing Larry Roberts, Michael Carter, one of the best nose tackles in the game, and Kevin Fagan. The linebackers, a little bit of a switch. Haley, Fawnhorst, Walter, and Romanowski. And in the secondary, it's a good one. Micaiah Wright, Ronnie Lott, and Jeff Fuller. First down, Falcons. Play action. Miller with time throws into the flats, incomplete. It was thrown in the direction of John Settle. Let's set that offensive talent for you for the Falcons. Chris Miller's the quarterback. John Settle and Gerald Riggs are the running backs. Floyd Dixon and Michael Haynes, the sprinter, and the wideouts, and Ken Wisenhunt, the tight end. Up front, very strong physical offensive line that's come together. Ken, Scully, Radliff, Freilich, and Houston Hoover. Scully and Freilich, 7 Pro Bowl appearances between them. Second down and 10. Settle and Riggs are the setbacks, and now they switch. The 3 wideouts. Straight ahead goes Riggs. He's out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Michael Walter makes the tackle there.
We talk about Walter and that defense of the San Francisco 49ers. Watch Walter, number 99. They're coming right at him in here. He's standing good position, square shoulders, wards off the block, bounces out to the outside and makes a piece of the tackle. A very good play by the inside linebacker.
He is the leading tackler for the San Francisco 49ers. He's got 85 tackles on the year, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery. Third down, call it 3. 4 wide receivers for the Falcons. Long count as Miller checks off. 3-step drop, throws into the flats, incomplete. Should have been caught by Floyd Dixon. Hit him right in the chest plate, bounced off. Darrell Pollard was the man out there covering, but that was just a drop ball, Hank.
Well, I think what happened, really, he didn't get his head around fast enough. The ball got there quicker than he thought. It hit the shoulder pads and bounced right out of there instead of hitting his hands like they usually do.
So Rick Donnelly comes on to punt now for Atlanta, and John Taylor will be standing at his own 34-yard line for San Francisco. Donnelly had 4 punts last week, 46-yard average. Second in the NFL with 21 punts inside the 20. And this one will drive Taylor way back toward the 20. And it's dropped at the 22. And Taylor is hit at the 24. No flags, great coverage. Shelley made the tackle. 50-yard punt. And they'll say he returned it 1 yard. So Joe Montana comes on for the 49ers, and it is impressive to say that this team has scored 85 points in the last 2 weeks. The defense he'll be facing, Dan Casillas and Rick Bryan up front. The linebackers, Andre Bruce, Grady, Tuggle, and Reed. Butler, Case, Tim Gordon, and Robert Moore in the secondary. And Robert Moore had an interception, returned to 47 yards for a touchdown in game 1 with the 49ers. Craig gets back to the line of scrimmage. Hit almost immediately by Tony Casillas.
And Tony Casillas is really a snootful, Timmy. Talking to Cross before the game, he said that, really, that I think the best noseman in the National Football League is Tony Casillas. He thinks he's terrific.
6'3", 280-pounder, 3-year pro out of Oklahoma. Second down and 9. Montana with time, throws it underneath. Roger Craig is out close to a first down. However, there is a flag. The tackle was made by Robert Moore. We'll wait for the call. It was thrown in the area of holding, but we'll wait and see.
The other thing about the offense of the 49ers today, they have to be patient, Tim. They play a lot of zone defenses, and they have to throw underneath and wait for their chances to throw up on top.
The penalty, Hank, is against the 49ers. They'll move them back. Our referee today, Gordon McCarter. Here's the call.
Illegal motion, number 80, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That's Jerry Rice, number 80. As you look at Bill Walsh, in his 10th year as head coach of the 49ers, 2 championships, 2 Super Bowl wins, and 5 division titles. 49ers, the winningest team in the 80s, Hank.
Talked to him yesterday about Atlanta. He said, listen, if we're good enough, we'll beat them. If we're not, we won't. That's it.
Second and 14 for Montana. With time, now is flushed out of the pocket. And he'll go for the sidelines, chased out by Andre Bruce. Take a look at the offensive lineup for the 49ers. Montana, the quarterback. Roger Craig is the setback, with Big Tom Rathman as blocker. Jerry Rice and Mike Wilson are the splits, and John Frank the tight end. Up front, another big, powerful 49er line. Wallace, Sapolo, Cross, McIntyre, and Barton. Cross, the former guard. The Swamp Fox, Marion Campbell, his second year as the Falcons head coach. And they've won 4 out of the last 5. Third down and 10. 6 defensive backs for Atlanta. Montana to throw, in trouble. Has the first down to his tight end, John Frank. Joel Williams made the tackle out there. Montana bought as much time as he could, Hank, before throwing that football.
Well, that's the great thing about Montana. He has such great poise and has such great poise in the pocket that he waited and waited and then finally stepped up into the pocket, and stepped in, got away from some traffic inside, threw on the move, and gets the ball to Frank for the first down. Really a great play on the part of Joe Montana.
Not bad coverage by Williams. 13-yard gain, first down at the 37. This is Roger Craig. Breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, spins his way up to the 44-yard line.
Here's what I think the 49ers have to do offensively to win this game. Number 1, they have to rush for about 150 yards or more. Number 2, they must pass for 250 yards or more. And number 3, they must make at least 20 first downs or more in this contest to win the game.
They're in an ideal situation now, Hank. Second down and a long 2. They can pass or run. Again, he has the completion of Mike Wilson for the first down. Scott Case made the tackle, but it's inside Atlanta territory now. They'll mark it at the 37-yard line.
The nice thing about this play is that they're playing so much zone. Talking about Atlanta, he looks off, goes to the left, to the right, and then throws to the left. Right on the money, a good catch, and they pick up enough yardage again for the first down. But I think the key was that Montana looked one way and threw another. That was the key.
Wilson and Rice now come to the bottom of the screen. Gain of 18 on that last play. First down here, and Rice has a big hole on the left side, which takes him down to the 30-yard line, and Jesse Tuggle pile drives him there.
The other thing, Tom Rathman, the fullback for the San Francisco 49ers, 44, I don't think he gets nearly the credit that he really deserves. He's a terrific runner, catches the ball extremely well, and really a great blocker at the point of attack. He did a good job on that last play.
Looks like a throwback in time, doesn't he?
He does.
Got
even the haircut. Yeah, it looked
right.
like he put in the pencil sharpener, made about 3 turns, and got the crew cut.
1950s. Second down and 3. Craig has the first down.
You know,
Third first down of this drive.
Excuse me, Timmy. You know, I was impressed yesterday, we all were, about how fresh the 49ers looked working out. They had a lot of bounce, a lot of zip. Their attitude was great. They expected to play extremely well, and we'll see what happens here this afternoon.
Good look at the NFC's leading rusher. 5-yard per carry average. And over 1,200 yards. Roger Craig. First down, the ball at the 26. Pro set. Montana to throw. Has a man wide open. Inside the 15 goes Mike Wilson. They'll mark it at the 14. Bobby Butler made the tackle along with John Rady.
And here again, Mike Wilson. He's a possession kind of a pass receiver, good size. And he comes right down the field on Butler, stops in front of him, turns, catches the hook pattern, and picks up enough yardage again for the first down. Good execution on the part of the 49ers. They know exactly what they have to do, and they're getting it done.
49ers traditionally have used the pass to establish the run. Montana 3 for 3. This is first down, right side, and pick up a couple of more.
The 49ers inside the 20-yard line have scored on 16 consecutive possessions. 11 touchdowns, 5 field goals. That's strong, Timmy.
That's impressive.
You bet.
Gann in the ball game now along with Green. For Atlanta, it'll be second down and 7. The ball at 11. At the 11 for the 49ers. Rathman pushes the pile down to the 5-yard line. Tackle made by Joel Williams.
That time he had a little bit of a seam on the right side. It looked like he made up his mind. He didn't see extremely good on the play and hit into the pile instead of hitting into the open area. Talking about Rathman on the last play.
Atlanta's defense has 34 takeaways, same as San Francisco, tied for 4th in the NFL, and they need one here on 3rd and 1. Pro set, split backfield. Montana, incomplete. Thrown in the direction of Mike Wilson. Bobby Butler was the defensive back covering.
Miscommunication on the play. Wilson expected him to run the fade pattern, running into the outside to the corner, but instead he broke it off inside. Joe threw it outside. It goes incomplete. But we've got a flag on the play.
And it's going to be against the 49ers.
Illegal motion, number 80 offense. Penalty declined, 4th down.
That's Rice again, second time for that.
It can't be the noise here in the stadium, Timmy. There are not that many people here to make that kind of noise. Lack of concentration, evidently, on the part of Jerry Rice.
It's like a library here. Mike Cofer, 8 consecutive field goals. 19 of 28 for the year.
That really hurts. You know, have a great drive like that and come away with 3 points, possibly. You want to get 7.
23-yard attempt by Cofer. Blocked. Ball's still alive. To the 37-yard line. Big defensive play by Atlanta, and that's what they've been doing the last 5 games.
And that's nothing more than a great desire, a great effort on the part of the Atlanta Falcons.
It was Reed who got a hand on it. We're scoreless.
Here we see now Greg Brown. We thought maybe at first it was Reed, but it was Greg Brown who really blocked that kick.
And Moore returned it. So it's first down at the 35 for Atlanta. Big defensive play by the Falcons. Haynes in motion, I formation. Play action. This is John Settle to the 43-yard line. Let's take you back to that blocked field goal.
Watch Brown now, number 88, to the right middle of your screen. The guard blocks down. He gets through the seam. Watch him bring the hand up and blocks it. Now Moore, number 34, picks it up. He'll pick it up here, 34. Watch this. He finally gets the lateral, really, and goes right down the sideline. You can't see it very well, Tim, but it looked like some of the 49ers thought the ball was dead.
Second down and 2. Riggs looks for a hole and he loses yardage. I think you're right. They just stopped.
We'll see the game plan that I think is going to be effective for the Atlanta Falcons. Number one, they must keep Roger Craig under 100 yards rushing. That's very important. Number two, they must keep the 49ers under 20 points. And number three, they must not permit a big play, a home run play by Jerry Rice.
And that's not easy to do. Third down and 2 tight end system for the Falcons. Miller on the waggle has his man wide open. Into San Francisco territory. Ken Wissenhunt.
You know, I talked to Rod Downhauer, the offensive coordinator, before the game, and he said, we're going to turn Miller loose. We've restricted him a little bit offensively, but we've got everything in the game plan. We're going to let him do everything, screens, draws, waggles, play action passes. He's ready for that, and we're going to give him that responsibility here this afternoon.
Wissenhunt made his 16th catch of the year. He's playing with a sprained foot from last week. First down at the 47. Wissenhunt now flexes out and makes 2 tight ends, or 2 receivers rather, at the bottom of the screen. Miller drills this one in the direction of Michael Haynes, and it was overthrown.
It looked like somebody got a hand up that time, and he had to try to throw over the top, and that's why the ball was so high and goes incomplete.
Philadelphia on top of Washington as you look at the CBS Sports Wire. That's a big game in the NFC East. Role reversal, though. Now it's Washington trying to be the spoiler. It's been the Eagles in the past trying to keep Washington out of the playoffs. Second down and 10, the ball on the 47. Dixon in motion to give to Riggs. Riggs inside the 45-yard line, tripped up by Jeff Fuller.
That was a counter play, trying to get the linebackers to move one way and then run the other, but they missed a block at the point of attack, and for that reason, they didn't make yardage of any consequence on the play.
Hank, this offense for Atlanta has had as many injuries as any team in the league. Riggs missed 8 games, Stamps was out for 9, and Flowers for the year. 3 receivers have missed a total of 13 games, and they've had 3 different centers, Radloff, Yarno, and Dukes. Not to mention Miller's been out banged up. 6 defensive backs now for the 49ers on 3rd and 8. And the Falcons to pass. Miller is mobile. Has this completion to Milling. To the 33-yard line, James Milling, a rookie out of Maryland.
You know, really, he surprises you talking about Chris Miller for a youngster. He's got tremendous poise, and the other thing about him is he's an excellent athlete. He's an athlete, and I think every player that we talked to on a 49er team yesterday mentioned the same thing. The guy's terrific, puts a lot of pressure because he is an athlete.
12-yard gain. It'll be first down. They mark the ball at the 32. Miller now 3 of 6 for 30 yards. Settle and Riggs are the setbacks. Pro set. This is Riggs. And again, Riggs has trouble getting to the corner and loses a couple of yards. Bill Romanowski, the contained man, came from his right outside linebacker post and made the tackle there. That's 3 times, Hank, we've seen Riggs try to get to the corner and he loses yardage.
Well, he's better. He really is. He's much better running inside the tackles, and if he can hit for the tackle and then veer out, he does that pretty well. But just to go outside, why, he doesn't do that nearly as well as he does when he runs inside the tackle.
Good point. Had a hip flexor the last time the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons played. 3rd week of the season. 3-time Pro Bowler. It'll be second down and 11. Lott comes out, and Homo comes into the ball game, into the secondary now for the 49ers. 4 wide receivers for Atlanta. John Settle, the leading receiver for the Falcons, makes the catch, goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Romanowski runs him out there. What a year John Settle's having.
terrific year. And, you know, there was an article in the paper about him the other day making the rookie team, and they called him John Simple instead of John Settle. He talked about his being rookie of the year, so he came and talked to the coach. He says, you know, they're talking about me being rookie of the year. This is my second year. I can't be rookie of the year. And the guy said, hey, John, you get a $20,000 bonus if you're rookie of the year. He said, oh, is that right? He said, you know, come to think about it, I am a rookie.
Third down and 3. Riggs in motion. Here comes some pressure. And Miller has the ball batted by Michael Carter, who came straight up the middle. Big number 95.
Michael Carter said he lost a lot of weight, and it's obvious for over the last year. He weighed about 310 or 15. He weighs about 285 or 290 now. And he said the difference in the speed and the quickness and overall agility is just tremendous. And for that reason, he's got 5.5 sacks and has done a terrific job.
285-pounder. He's got a vertical jump of 35 inches. Greg Davis comes on to attempt a 42-yard field goal for the Falcons. And this one's blocked. And it'll go into the end zone, and they'll down it there. No run back. So how about that? 2 field goal attempts, 2 blocks, and we're scoreless.
Steve Wallace, number 74, blocks, gets a piece of the ball. We'll circle him in just a minute here. There we see him, and watch him go into that gap. Goes into the gap, gets penetration, gets a little push, gets airborne, gets a hand up and ticks the ball and partially blocked that kick.
Montana on first down, looks deep, throws over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Rice. And for just that scary instant, if you're a Falcon fan, Rice had come open.
And here again, they're getting a lot of soft coverage. By soft coverage, I mean zone. People in front, people in back. They're not going to let him get a big play because of coverage. And the ball was just thrown right over the top. Usually a pattern that Joe Montana hits beautifully in that kind of a situation.
It'll be second down and 10 at the 26. And again, Montana wants to throw. Back to the line of scrimmage. Craig is hit almost immediately by Andre Bruce, and the crowd immediately starts yelling, Bruce. Sounds like booze, but it's Bruce.
And he's a delightful guy. We talked to him yesterday, and he talked about his woes as far as being a #1 draft choice that everybody expects so very much of a #1 player. He's finally kind of coming into his own, playing extremely well. We talked about, you know, what are your goals? And he said, well, I don't have any goals, because when you have goals, what happened when you reach those goals? Then where do you go? Pretty good answer.
Says I need challenges, not goals.
That's right.
Montana now 4 for 6, 44 yards. Atlanta comes in with 6 defensive backs, 3 wide receivers for San Francisco on third down. And Montana throws this one way out of bounds. It was in the direction of Jerry Rice. So the Atlanta defense holds again. And the 49ers will have to punt. Barry Helton comes on to punt for the 49ers. Lou Barnes will be deep for Atlanta, standing on his own 32-yard line. Helton had a 42-yard average last week. And this is a high spiraling punt that turns over and will be taken at the 26. Lou Barnes. A 12-yard return. We're scoreless. Welcome back to Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. First period action, and we are scoreless. Tim Brandt and Hank Stram with you. And I can't remember the last time we saw 2 field goals blocked. That's the way this game has gone. 2 field goals blocked in the first quarter. One by San Francisco and one by Atlanta. John Settle, the ball carrier, on first down for Atlanta. Pete Kugler makes the tackle.
You know, you're right, Tim. I can't remember ever seeing back-to-back blocked field goals. Really can't.
One minute, 20 seconds remain in the first period of play. Atlanta with the football, faced with a second down and 9 situation. Settle and Riggs are the setbacks for Miller. Miller with time, throws underneath. This is Riggs. Riggs spins at the 40 and is finally taken down at the 45-yard line. But Hankey picked up 5 extra yards just with the spin move and the power of his legs.
Well, you really have to tackle him low. You're not going to tackle him and bring him down if you try to tackle him above the waist. He's big and he's strong. And you talk about a guy making it happen. He's 6'1", about 232. That's what they listed. He might be heavier than that.
18 carries, 92 yards last week against Tampa for Gerald Riggs. That's an average of 5 yards per carry. And Settle had an average of 6.9 yards per carry last week. Now Lang comes in for Riggs. You saw Riggs go out, so it's Settle and Lang. 4 wide receivers for Atlanta. They need 2, and Settle has the first down. Greg Cox makes the tackle for the 49ers.
And that's what the excellent backs are able to do, to stretch the no-gainers into yardage, and especially on a critical situation like that one. It looked like he hit the wall, bounced off the wall, went to the outside, and made the extra yardage for the first down. Great running by the part of John Settle.
Welcome back to Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. As we begin the second period of play, we're scoreless. San Francisco nothing, Atlanta nothing. And Hank, I can't remember the last time we saw a team eat up 6 minutes of the clock, have a field goal block. The other team comes back, eats up 5, and has that one blocked.
Well, the problem really, though, is, you can't in that situation be offside like they were and then have a kick block. Not when you're pursuing the possibility of winning the championship. That kind of a team should not let those kind of things happen.
You're right. That Miller pass intended for Dixon, way overthrown. Tim McKyer was covering. Boy, that's a matchup that goes way back. McKyer on Dixon. Boyhood friends, grew up in the same neighborhood. They've been playing against each other a long time, haven't
Well,
they?
yeah, grade school, high school, college, and now in the pros. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
They said it calls him his homeboy. Says we got to have the bragging rights. Riggs and Settle in the backfield in the eye now. Second down and 10 for Atlanta. This is Riggs. He bangs ahead for a couple. Kevin Fagan was there first. He got a lot of help from Carter, Romanowski, and Michael Walter.
One thing for sure, the Falcons are double teaming and sometimes triple teaming Carter. They want to make sure that he doesn't get off the mark and they can get a good push. If they can get a good push there, why, they can make yardage. But he's tough to handle. You can't handle him one-on-one.
It'll be third down. Call it 8. A 4-1-6 defensive scheme now for the 49ers. 3 wideouts for Atlanta offensively. Here's Miller in trouble, and he's sacked. Pierce Holt got there first. That's his 4th sack of the year.
Watch with C. Haley, number 84. See, he looks like he's going to go outside, and then he takes a step and goes inside. There you see him knock the back, Lang, and comes in and helps make the play. A great shot by Haley.
So Rick Donnelly is on the punt for Atlanta, and he gets out a boomer in the direction of John Taylor, who will fair catch it on the 10, and Taylor's interfered with. And there is a flag. A 40-yard punt, and there was no question, but there was interference.
Yeah, he never had a chance really to make the catch, hardly. Just barely made the catch, and that's interference with an opportunity to make a fair catch or make a catch.
Elbert Shelley not only has to avoid contact, but he's got to give him room to make that catch.
Fair catch interference. Number 37 on the kicking team. 15 yards, first down.
That's Elbert Shelley.
Watch Shelley now coming down here. He's waving for the fair catch. Well, actually, he kind of trips over him. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was.
Incidental contact, barely contact, but it is a penalty.
Saturday, it's Philly against Phoenix. Two teams fighting for their playoff lives. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered draft taste is as real as it gets. Miller Brewing is the exclusive beer sponsor of today's telecast. AC Delco, automotive parts that don't just fit, they match. And by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet.
The skyline of Atlanta, 13:44 remaining in the first half. And we are scoreless. Atlanta 0, San Francisco 0. And keep in mind, Atlanta won the first game between these two 11 weeks ago, 34-17. And I believe as long as the 49ers allow the Falcons to stay in this game to get stronger. First down, run straight ahead. And Rathman picks up a good chunk of yardage.
That was a sucker play. They pulled the left guard to make it look like they were going to go off tackle, and then gave it to Rathman coming behind what they hoped would be an open area, but it wasn't, and as a result, they were not able to pick up much yardage on the play.
So it'll bring up second down, call it a short 6. Montana sends Craig in motion. On the waggle. Throws to Craig. And Craig breaks loose at the 42 to the 48-yard line. Tim Green makes the tackle, gain of 17.
They send a man in motion to the right side out of the backfield. There you see him. Joe rolls out to his right side, anchors and throws, hits Roger Craig in the dead spot in the zone, and he maintains good balance and gets an extra 5 yards out of the play after he makes the reception.
Montana needed that too. After going 3 for 3, had missed his last 3 out of 4.
I think he's got to do more play-action passes on 1st and 10, Timmy. He hasn't done much of that.
Frank in motion, little counter play. This is Craig, and Craig breaks the tackle but still loses a yard. Andre Bruce finally takes him down. Rick Bryan applied the pressure. He couldn't stop him. And Andre Bruce added reinforcements. Tony Casillas is hurt, big number 75, 3-year pro out of Oklahoma. Obviously in some pain. Hank, take us through some of the terminology
well,
that the
everybody,
Falcons use.
Yeah, you know, funny thing, some people use numbers, other people use descriptive terminology. This is what the Falcons use. They say Dakota, and anything starts with a D is double coverage. So Dakota means double up the outside receivers. Bird dog means that they're going to stay with the inside receivers and inside moves man for man because they get help in the middle by the safety. And Jill means free safety. He's playing the ball. He's playing center field just like a baseball player in a baseball game.
San Francisco, the first time it had the football, drove 70 yards, held the ball 6 minutes, got no points. And Atlanta drove 40 yards. Greg Davis had a field goal block, so 2 field goals blocked. And now they're going deep to Rice, and he can't handle it. Montana's pass to Rice was just barely underthrown because Rice had 2 steps on Butler.
And Gordon was trying to come in from the safety position to try to help out, but the ball was not thrown far enough. It would have been a touchdown.
Hank, look at this and see if maybe he lost it in the shadow. There is a shadow in that corner of the field.
He might have. Now here's a play action. Holds him pretty well. He goes back in the pocket and throws the ball deep downfield. Watch this now. He's looking back for the ball. No way in the world he should drop this unless there was something happen with regard to the shade or the sun, or he took his eye off the ball looking at the defensive back, Butler, on the play number 23.
That's a 2-time All-Pro. He's got 51 catches this year, Rice. 3rd down and 10, and Montana has pressure, still gets it out to Craig. Look at that move. Craig out to the 39-yard line, just short of the 40, but it'll be good for a first down.
That's a bad move on the part of Roger Craig. There's no way in the world he can't get thrown out of this football game.
I'll tell you this, he did throw a punch.
He did. And they might play a little traveling music for him if he's not careful.
Flags have flown, they're on the field. Moore and Gordon made the tackle. And it was Craig and Moore who got into the tussle, but the right hand was obviously thrown by Craig. Gain of 12. Now we'll let the referee, Gordon McCarter, sort all this out. He pulls his umpire, Ben Montgomery, aside. Dave Anderson and Bill Reynolds now will get in and confer with him as well. Third catch of the day for Craig.
We did a game recently where the Saints and Dallas played. They did a thing like that, and they threw both players out of the game in the early part of the contest.
Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 33 on the offensive team. The foul occurred after the ball was dead, but it's an inbounds play and is considered to be on the play. So we'll go 15 from there, repeat third down.
That's a pretty good explanation.
Very good explanation, and he's lucky he wasn't thrown out of the ball game. But Moore evidently had him around the neck while he was down on the ground. I think that's what prompted the reaction by Craig, and he was ready to swing at everybody. Look at this now. He gets up and he tries to give him a little facial through the mask. Can't get his. Watch the punch here now. There it is.
That's a pretty good right hand.
Yeah, short arm shiver right in the smush. And
looked like Ray Leonard.
If it was Ray Leonard, he'd have been down.
Well, the bottom line is Craig gets to stay in the ball game, but the 49ers are penalized 15 yards. So I think Craig's lucky.
He's very lucky.
Please reset the game clock to 11:37. 11:37.
Right now, the game clock's on 11:33. He wants it back up to 37. Now they get that squared away.
Roger Craig dodged a bullet.
Third down and 15 for the San Francisco 49ers. Montana is sacked. Rick Bryan has his 5th sack of the year. Atlanta now has 28 quarterback sacks. They only had 17 all last year.
I mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it again. They have to throw play-action passes more on 1st and 10, and they have to move the pocket a little bit more for Joe. He did it once and completed the pass. They've got to do more of it.
Barry Helton's punt is end over end. Lou Barnes lets it go, and it rolls all the way down to the 11-yard line. A 46-yard punt, and we're still scoreless. The Biondis are here. Right there, look at Olympic swimmer Matt Biondi cheering for the 49ers, 7-time medalist, 5 golds, 1 silver, 1 bronze in Seoul. What a performance by that American. Big San Francisco fan. Atlanta on 1st down, Bulls straight ahead with John Settle, not much there. Fawnhorse made the tackle.
You know, Atlanta's done a better job of moving the ball and mixing it up on 1st and 10. They've had the ball on 6 occasions so far. They've run the ball twice and threw the ball 4 times, whereas the 49ers have had it 8 times and rushed 6 times on 1st and 10 and only threw 2 passes. Very unlike the 49ers. I think they have to do more of that when they get the ball back.
Ken Wissenhunt shaken up on that last play. Take a look at the playoff picture. 49ers can win the NFC West with 3 consecutive wins. That's today here in Atlanta, then next week against New Orleans, and they end the season against the Rams. They win all 3, they win the West. It's that simple. Denzel Lee comes in now for the Falcons. Miller throws a little swing pass out to Riggs, incomplete.
I don't think Riggs saw the ball. Fagan was getting penetration, got his hands up, and I think for that reason, Riggs didn't get a chance to see the ball clearly and falls incomplete.
Miller now 5 of 11, 46 yards, but he's missed 3 of his last 4 passes.
But he's got the kind of disposition that's not going to bother him at all. He's got a lot of confidence, a lot of poise, and he's allowed to come back and hit 5 in a row.
Youngest quarterback in the NFL. He's 23 years of age. 6 defensive backs now load up against Miller. The 49ers do. 3 wideouts on 3rd down and 8 for Atlanta.
Got to get somebody in that middle.
Miller flushed out of the pocket, but he is mobile. Now throws and has the Atlanta first down. Floyd Dixon made a very tough catch out at the 22-yard line, but it was even a tougher throw, I think, by the quarterback Miller.
It really was, because he was rolling to his left and still had enough composure to look for a receiver. Most young quarterbacks are going to take off and run.
There is a flag, however, and it looks like it's going to be against Atlanta.
Pass interference. Number 86 on the offense, blocking before the catch downfield. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, third down.
So offensive pass interference against Floyd Dixon. Well, the Swamp Fox doesn't like that, does he?
No, he really doesn't, and I don't blame him for not liking it, but that's, you know, it's amazing. They've only had 58 penalties so far this year. Some of the other teams in the league, Houston, I think they have 104.
Well, that's the second penalty for Atlanta this afternoon. San Francisco also has 2. It'll be third down, call at 12. The ball on the 7. 4 wideouts now for Atlanta. 6 defensive backs for the 49ers. And they run the draw. Settle gets back just beyond the original line of scrimmage. And the Falcons will have to punt. Greg Cox made the tackle.
And the last time they played, Timmy, they ran very well against that prevent defense. There are 5 and 6 defensive backs. And evidently they were going back to the well again with the hope and expectation they'd do it again today. But they didn't do it on that last one.
So Rick Donnelly, now standing 2 yards deep in his own end zone, will be punting to John Taylor, and Taylor leads the NFL in punt returns. This could be interesting.
He made a return against Washington that was incredible.
Takes his time. It's a high, wobbly punt. Taylor at the 46 will be hit immediately. You can't return him with coverage like that. Tackle was made by Shelley, 41-yard punt, -1 on the return. Yesterday, they closed the streets of Atlanta for their annual holiday parade. Some of Hank's favorite characters were there. 125,000 people showed up for the parade. Major League Baseball meetings going on here. It's a busy time in Atlanta, Georgia. But it's been a fun weekend, I can tell you that. First down at the 46. The best starting field position of the day for the 49ers. Montana flushed out of the pocket and throws, and it's intercepted. No. Scott Case almost had it.
Slot man that time was offside on the play, I think, Timmy, on the left side. I couldn't see who it was, but I think that's who was in motion on the play. That's 3 penalties so far in this game by outside receivers.
Boy, Scott Case almost had an interception. Of course, it wouldn't have counted with the flag anyway. But he's had 4 in the last 5 games, and he has 8 now for the year.
Illegal motion, number 80 offense. Penalty declined, second down.
Well, it would have counted since it was against the 49ers.
Scott Case almost came up with the interception, but it went right through there for 2 points, just like a basket.
Saw the Hawks last night beat the Trailblazers. Talk about 2 points. Atlanta Hawks look strong. Jim Hannafy giving instructions to the Falcons in 2nd and 10. Craig picks up a bundle. He's out to the 46-yard line. Tim Gordon makes the stop. It'll bring up third down and about 4.
The left tackle, Wallace, really got a good block that time on Tuttle, the linebacker, number 58.
You have to be impressed with the Atlanta defense. 28 sacks, 22 interceptions, 12 fumble recoveries. And the average age of the Atlanta starters, 25 years old. It's a young team. Third down and 2, they call it. And I don't think Craig made it. Atlanta's defense has stopped them.
They got off the ball better. They acted like they knew the count better than what the 49ers did. There was no push there at all on the part of the 49ers. And they got the penetration to stop the play.
Mike Gann, John Rady, Bobby Butler, all there to stop Craig, and they'll bring out 4th down and less than 1. Craig now 31 yards, and he's just set the single-season rushing record for the San Francisco 49ers. Well over 1,200 yards. Montana wants a timeout. 4th down and less than 1. He wants to confer with Bill Walsh. 7:52 remains in the half. We're still scoreless. Two block field goals, one each for San Francisco and Atlanta. We're scoreless with 7:52 remaining in the half. Tim Brandt and Hank Stram with you. Hank, this could be the biggest play of the first half anyway. 4th down and 2 feet.
Yeah, it's a big one, it's right.
And I don't think they got it. Look how this defense swarms. Bruce got there first.
Very simple. They just did not get off the ball as well and get the penetration. Look at that Atlanta defense. Look at the penetration they got. Bodies flying all over the place. Not even close to making the necessary yardage for the first down.
What was impressive is the way Andre Bruce met him and then took him backwards. Just a rookie. 7:45 remaining in the half. First down, Atlanta. Miller looks deep. This one's going to be intercepted. No. It was intended for Dixon. Eric Wright had it in his hands and dropped it.
See, I just don't think in this kind of a game, as important as this game is, Timmy, you can't afford not to make an interception like you just could have made. You can't afford to be offside 3 times like they have been, and you can't afford to let them block a field goal. Look at this. This ball should have been caught. And he dropped it on the way down. And Dixon was on the ground. He should have made the catch. Those are the kind of plays you have to make if you're going to be a championship football team.
Miller now 5 of 12, 46 yards, but he's missed his last 4 out of 5. It's 2nd down and 10 to the 45-yard line. Haynes in motion. This is John Settle. Breaks 1 tackle and carries it out to the 47-yard line. Michael Carter takes him down there.
John Scully, the left guard, made a terrific block on the linebacker on the outside and gave him some running room.
John Settle, 5'9", 207-pound, 2-year pro out of Appalachian. He has 17 yards now for the day. Came into the day needing 87 to become the first free agent in the NFL since the 1970 merger to go over 1,000 yards. We'll keep an eye on that for you. 6 defensive backs now on 3rd down and 8. 3 wide receivers for Atlanta. Miller has backside pressure, and he's sacked. Charles Haley came from the backside, and just a speed move to the outside got to Miller.
Watch Haley, number 94, speed rush on the outside, and Mike Ken, an all-pro offensive tackle, could not handle him. He got the penetration and made the play. But that's what you call a speed rush, nothing fancy. Came out to the outside and got the penetration and got the sack.
That's the 2nd sack of the day for San Francisco. Donnelly has a high spiraling punt that takes Taylor all the way back to the 12. What a play from the backside by Tim Gordon. 50-yard punt, 5-yard return. But the play was made by the 2nd-year pro from Tulsa. This is a look at the NFC East. The Giants in Philadelphia tied with 8-5 records. Phoenix with a 7-6 record, very much in the playoff picture. And the Eagles and Cardinals play next week, 3:30 Eastern time. And look at that, it's Saturday. That's a special presentation of CBS Sports, Eagles and Cardinals, next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time. Starting with the NFL today. First down and the ball at the 19-yard line. Roger Craig breaks a tackle, cuts back inside, and gets a couple of tough yards. Bobby Butler finally makes the stop, and he got a lot of help. They do run to the football, don't they, Hank?
They really do. I think you have to have some somewhere when they have decent field position, they have to run some kind of a misdirection play, a reverse of some kind, something to make a big play because of the way they're pursuing and gang tackling.
Casillas back in the ball game, as you can see, and he was injured earlier, so he's all right.
Watch that. Andre Bruce, number 93, gets penetration in a good position to make the tackle, but he misses the tackle. And, of course, that's easy to do on Roger Craig.
Well, 2nd and 8. Montana seemed rushed, hurried his throw, intended for John Frank, incomplete. Boy, he got nervous feet back there that time.
Yes, he did, and they're caving in that pocket. That's why I think it's important. I don't want to belabor the point. I think they got to move him more, and again, throw the ball more on 1st and 10.
You mentioned that to him yesterday, that you thought he was best when he moved.
Yeah, I get the feeling watching them play that they're playing a game with the idea that they don't want to lose it. They're afraid to lose it rather than being on the attack and winning the game and just taking the game. They started that way initially, but they haven't gone back to it.
Right now, Montana's 6 for 12. It's 3rd down and 8. 6 defensive backs now for Atlanta. 3 wide receivers for San Francisco. And this one is complete, and it's enough for a 1st down. So Montana hit Taylor right on the numbers, and they got the 1st down. Nice play that time by Joe Montana.
Well, there's a 14-7 Indianapolis over Miami. They've already beaten them once this year, and they're on the way to winning again. Of course, it's early in the game.
You know, Montana completed 32 passes for 343 yards the first time these two clubs met this year. So he had success. They just didn't get the points and lost at 34-17. 1st down at the 31. This is Roger Craig. And again, there's terrific pursuit by Atlanta.
And they continue to run on 1st and 10.
That's the time remaining in the 1st half. We're scoreless. San Francisco ate up 6 minutes of the clock on its first possession, but missed a field goal, had it blocked. Then Atlanta came right back on the next possession, ate up 5 minutes of the clock, and the Falcons had a field goal blocked. Chris Miller stand loose in the sidelines. They'll go to their hurry-up offense. 2 tight ends now for San Francisco, Jones and Frank, on 2nd down and 7. Good fake, play action. And Montana scrambles to the 37-yard line.
Did you see Casillas on the play? He got penetration, and it was in hot pursuit that time, and almost got Montana from the backside. He's big and he's strong, and he can run. And Andre Bruce was standing in front of him, right about ready to make the tackle. Watch 75. He's blocked. Watch him go to his left. He's down on his knees. Now he gets up, takes a good angle, and would have made the tackle on Montana had he not slid into second base like he did.
3rd down and 4. San Francisco has not been successful on 3rd down plays today, only 2 of 6. 3 wide receivers for the 49ers. Montana has the completion to Wilson, who takes it down to the 47-yard line. Knocked out by Charles Dimry.
Here we see another shot of it as Joe Montana looked at it. Here he is going back in the pocket, throwing outside. Wilson, the ball was thrown perfectly out in front. And he finally tackled, but he makes the necessary yardage for the 1st down. It's a big 1st down for the 49ers.
Wilson came up limping. They're working on him on the bench. He's got 3 catches today for 17 yards. 48 yards, correction. That was a 17-yard pickup. Craig, left side. Again, it's tough yardage. Mike Gann makes the tackle.
Well, you talk about getting off the ball, talking about the Atlanta Falcons. They're doing a terrific job of getting penetration. There was illustration by Mike Gann, number 76.
How about Craig, though? Just keeps pounding. They are tough yards today, but he's just banging his way in there. NFL's leading rusher, 5-yard per carry average. 2nd down and 8 for San Francisco. Montana drills this one close to another 1st down for Atlanta. Rice made the catch at the 36-yard line, and Bobby Butler was there covering, but it should be enough for a 1st down. Next Sunday, the action starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. It's doubleheader day. Game 1, Detroit against Chicago. Or some of you will see Minnesota, Green Bay, and others will see Dallas against the Washington Redskins. And then everybody will tune in to what we think should be a sensational game. This will be for the NFC West title. New Orleans against the San Francisco 49ers. Montana now 9 for 15, 110 yards. First down, gives this one to Rathman. Rathman picks up 2. As they continue to milk the clock, 1:57 and the clock stops. Rick Bryan and John Rady made the tackle. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. The 2-minute warning. We'll be back. Tina Turner in street clothes today. Hey, they're out of moves for the regular season, but he can come back and play in the playoffs for the 49ers. They've got one more move, and that's in the playoffs. Atlanta now, 3 timeouts remaining. San Francisco 2 with 1:57 remaining in the first half. 10th play of this drive coming up. It started on the San Francisco 19. Montana throws underneath to Craig. He's down to the 20-yard line. First down, 49. Gain of 13. Tim Gordon made the tackle.
You know, the one thing about playing this kind of football, when you have to do it slowly and be patient, especially when you've got a big play guy like Rice, it's difficult sometimes to be able to just chop away and move the chains with a passing game, but that's what they have to do the way they're playing defensively.
That's the 4th catch of the day for Craig. He now has 68 catches for the season. On first down, Montana puts it up for Craig. Almost intercepted by Andre Bruce. And Bruce has 2 fumble recoveries and 2 interceptions in the last 2 games.
And he's a tough guy to challenge one-on-one. Normally you say if we can get it back on a linebacker, that's perfect. But when you got a guy like Bruce, he can run. He's got terrific range along with it. You know, he's 6'5", 245, and so you really have to throw the ball way over the top to get it to your receiver.
He moves like a little guy, though.
He does.
Second down and 10 for Montana. Montana chased out of the pocket. Now goes for the corner for Rice. Touchdown 49ers. Bobby Butler fell down, and Montana hit Rice for the 20-yard touchdown.
And that's what he does best. Escape from the pocket, be able to see people downfield. The receivers make an adjustment once he escapes from the pocket. That time Rice is in the corner, and Butler falls down on the play, and he makes a touchdown.
Jerry Rice had 2 touchdowns last week. He has 9 now for the season. Mike Cofer on to attempt the extra point. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it's good. And so it took almost 2 full quarters. But we finally have a score, and 49ers lead 7-0.
Here's the escape. Joe looking to the left side. Now he goes to the right side. Rady, number 59, is coming across along with Gann. But he throws the ball on the move, and Butler falls down on the play, and that's the only reason it was successful. But it's a touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers. Here again, you see us trying to get penetration, and he does. Makes him escape from the pocket. And look at him. His shoulders are pointed really to the sideline, but in spite of that, he throws the ball on the top of the receiver, and of course Butler was the key. He fell down on the play.
Well, he's starting to get hot at just the right time. That's only his 9th touchdown catch of the year. He had 23 last year in 11 games. He now has 3 in the last 2 games of this season.
And people are so concerned about him that they double cover, sometimes triple cover.
Of course, it's not unusual for him to have big days against Atlanta. He had 8 catches against the Falcons earlier this year in week number 3.
You know, the surprising thing about it, too, talking to him the other day, is that he said he never taped his ankles until he got him hurt. That's a really, wasn't that a surprise?
I was shocked, and I bet he was fined.
Well, I would think he would be. We had a rule they were fined if they didn't wear tape at practice.
Cofer kicks to Tim Gordon, and Tim Gordon breaks one tackle, spins again, and he's out to the 26-yard line. That San Francisco drive went 81 yards in 12 plays and took 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Montana 5 for 7 on the drive and hit Rice with the 20-yard touchdown. Took a long time to get that score. Both teams have had good drives. They've come away empty.
Well, it's really important for the 49ers because they started off so well, and then they kind of lost the momentum, and now they've recaptured it by getting 7 points. That's a big 7 points for the 49ers.
Let's watch Miller go to work now. 3 wide receivers on first down, under a minute to play, first half. John Settle has a lot of problems just getting away from tacklers and finally falls down in his effort.
How about talking to Settle? We asked him if he would be disappointed if he didn't make the all-rookie team. He said, no, I really wouldn't. I'm so happy to be on this team and doing what I'm doing and making a contribution that it really doesn't make any difference. It'd be nice if I could make it, but I'm not going to jump off the bridge if I don't.
The all-pro team. Mary Campbell said that both John Settle and Scott Case making big plays that should get him to the Pro Bowl. Coming up at halftime, Brent Irvin Dick with all the scores and highlights. And Dick will have the story of a player and a position that's often overlooked. Ray Donaldson, the all-pro center of attention for the Indianapolis Colts. It's a fun piece. You've got to watch that one. The Invisible Man. Brent Irvin Dick at halftime. .48 seconds remaining in the half. It was a loss of 10 on that last play for John Settle, so it'll be second down and 20. And it was San Francisco which called the timeout. 49ers have 1 left, so they're trying to get the ball back one more time.
And one thing you have to be careful of, if you're Atlanta, you can't make a mistake and give them the ball and get them a chance to get 3 or 7 again before the half.
Settle and Lang in the backfield with Miller. Miller now throws underneath to Lang. And he makes the catch at the 21-yard line. Almost to 22. Jeff Fuller tapped him down there. And San Francisco will take its final timeout of the half. An aggressive move by San Francisco using the timeouts, trying to get the ball back.
Yes, you have to do everything you possibly can when you get them in a soup like they are right now with the hope and expectation that you can do something and maybe get a chance. Put yourself in a position where you still get 3 or maybe 7 before the half.
Falcons have actually moved the ball effectively all day.
Yes, they have. But that offensive line of theirs is a big, strong offensive line. And they especially like their young offensive tackle, Hoover, who is a 300-pounder, the right tackle number 69.
Atlanta you're talking about.
Yes. Jackson State. They like him very much.
That offensive line goes Ken, Scully, Radloff, Freilich, and Hoover. 7 all-pros between Ken and Freilich. 3rd and 14. Miller hangs in the pocket, drills this one, and Dixon has it at the 43-yard line. Tom Homo takes him down, but it's a first down Atlanta, gain of 21. Clock at 27 seconds. And now Atlanta takes a timeout. If San Francisco wins its final 3 games, the 49ers win the title by virtue of head-to-head with the Saints. They beat the Saints 34-33 in September. They play New Orleans next week, and they play the Rams the final week. Falcons are mathematically alive, but it would take a miracle to say the least. And I think right now, Hank, they're just playing for that 8-8 record. They're 5-8 coming into this one. They want to win those last 3 games and gear up for next year. Very young team.
They're a young team, and you have to give the coaching staff, Marion Campbell and his group, an awful lot of credit for making this team stay in there and fight tough and play hard, even though their record early was like 1-7. They were having a terrible time, but they hung in there tough and played hard, and it started to pay off.
Won the last 4 out of 5 ball games Atlanta has. Marion Campbell says the players believe they're headed in the right direction. 3 wide receivers now on first down. 26 seconds remaining in the half. Settle out to midfield in San Francisco territory. Jeff Fuller trips him up. The clock is stopped at 19 seconds. And Atlanta takes another timeout. So, Hank, San Francisco takes its timeout and uses its last 2 timeouts to stop the clock when they had Atlanta backed up trying to get the ball back. Now it's Atlanta, which feels like it's got the opportunity.
Well, I think the important thing is, you know, both are trying desperately to make as much out of the game as they possibly can and provide themselves with an opportunity. If they get a chance, they're going to do everything they possibly can to get some points here before the half.
Miller, of course, the strong-arm quarterback, young as he is, but he's very mobile. He wants to get him down into field goal range.
The one thing they have to do is they have to put more pressure on him. They're not getting enough pressure on Miller. And if he doesn't get pressure, he's going to hit receivers downfield. He's got too much time.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the top of the screen with 19 seconds remaining. Miller looks left. Settle has the ball and gets past the line of scrimmage up close to another first down. Torrey Nixon hits him there. Clock is stopped at 13 seconds. Falcons are .500 with Miller at quarterback. When he starts and finishes, Atlanta is 5-3 this year. This 3.5 games with an ankle injury. Only had about 25 starts.
Well, you know, this is the first time in some time that they really have hope and high expectations for their quarterback situation. They finally got the quarterback they've been seeking for a long time, and he's going to be a good one.
It's 3rd down and 1, but I don't think that's important with 13 seconds left. They want to get this ball down the field. There's the mobility we talked about. This ball is complete to Haynes inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Michael Haynes, world-class sprinter, lost in the Olympic qualifying trials to Carl Lewis. He runs a 10-2.
And here again, we see Haley now, number 94, the left end. He's going beyond the quarterback, reaches for him, then chases him. By the time he gets back, however, Miller spots the receiver downfield, Haynes, runs out of bounds and stops the clock at 6 seconds.
How many plays is that, Hank? 6 seconds.
Well, you got one at least. You got one, depending on where you throw it. You got to try to get it downfield and hope that you can make some kind of a play, at least kick a field goal or stop the clock.
That's my point, though. They want to kick the field goal, and there it is with 6 seconds left. Clock is at 3. They're going deep. They've got a man open down there. Now everything converges, and it's incomplete. It looked for a second like Haynes had broken clean into the corner.
They got the Big Ben play, 3 wide receivers on the outside, and they elect to go downfield deep and take the 6 seconds and try to make a big play. Make a good try is jump ball in the end zone, and it finally hits, bounces out of the end zone, incomplete.
So that's the end of the first half with our score, San Francisco 7, Atlanta nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Isotoner Gloves for Men, the perfect gift because they're the perfect fit. Citizen, no other watch expresses time more beautifully. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
All right, gentlemen, let's focus on the battle in the NFC's Eastern Division right now. With Phil Simms having returned despite that shoulder problem, he has thrown 2 touchdown passes, and the Giants lead the Cardinals right now in the Meadowlands, and it is a brisk win. Giants won the toss, said, we want the win. Cardinals came out, coughed it up. And that set up a field goal. Then, of course, Simms started finding Stacy Robinson.
Big question about Simms' shoulder because he had the injury coming in. Looked great there. He zapped it in for the touchdown.
One more time, the second connection between these two. Earl Farrell, Dick, and got the Cardinals on the board with a nice run.
Yeah, he kind of bounces out here. Stuffed up the middle there, so what the heck? Go on the outside and get it in there.
Tough touchdown, and the Cardinals still alive as the result. Now, the Eagles and the Redskins. Redskins must win or they're gone. Eagles must win to stay up there with the Giants if the Giants win. And there's the sunshiny blue skies over to Vet. Mark Rippon, the starter. And here he is to Ricky Sanders for a touchdown. Joe Gibbs enjoying that one on the sideline. Dick, what about this interception here by Seth Joyner?
Well, Rippon gets chased out of the pocket here. I just think it was a bad decision on his part. Great interception by Seth there. I think he stepped out of his right foot there. We were looking at it before. But hey, what are the Eagles going to do with the lead, Irv? I got the lead first.
And look who gave it to him, Irv.
Keith Byers blasting it in from the 2-yard line. Well, you know, they're a pretty good fourth quarter team. You know that, right?
And Byers again, this time from Cunningham. Nice catch by the former Ohio State star. And the Eagles with a lead. San Diego and Cincinnati, 2 TDs by Ickey Woods now. Give him 15 for the year. The Dallas Cowboys on a comeback here a short time ago against Cleveland. 14-10 now. The Cowpokes over to Browns. Oh, the Dogs were on hand for this one. Kosar to Langhorne. This is a beautiful play, Irv.
Kosar, you know, great rhythm here and timing. It's a quick post. Langhorne makes the catch, and it's on the foot race now, Brent. Everybody in the secondary is wiped out of there, and he dashes 73 yards for the touchdown.
And Pelur's listened to Dick Butkus. He was able to bring him back.
Let's see. Ah, that's it. The right foot. All right.
Yes, I knew you'd enjoy that. The Folsom, and they lead it as a result. Buffalo and Tampa Bay. Believe it, folks, Benny's not coughing up interceptions today. Bootleg for a touchdown, 10-zip. Indianapolis and Miami, and Dickerson's having a huge day. Closing in on 100, he's already scored a touchdown. Seattle, New England, and Starofsky, who missed that field goal a week ago that would have put the Patriots into overtime, has hit 2 against the Seahawks, up by 6. San Fran and Atlanta, well, this was a battle of blocked field goals for a time, and then finally, the 49ers were able to light it up, and it was this combination, Irv.
Great improvisation here on Joe Montana's part, rolling out of the pocket and finding Jerry Rice in the end zone. The Falcons have been very impressive today, though.
And I'll tell you about impressive. How about the Detroit Lions, 20-0? What do you think here, Dick? Wayne Font's closing in on the head coaching job next.
You know, what's surprising about that score is that Green Bay's offense was, you know, kind of sputtering the last few weeks, but their defense was playing well. And for the Lions to get this score against the Packers defense, I think they're moving on. Fonts is getting his security there with the job.
You bet. The NFL Today will continue after these messages from your local stations. Welcome back to our New York studio. You know, about this time of year, we start looking not only at the playoff picture, but some of those individual achievements. You know, for example, the leading passers, ground gainers. But we rarely, if ever, mention offensive linemen. And as Dick Butkus tells us, the players most taken for granted are the centers, whose job is anything but a snap.
This is the view we usually have of the big men who play center, except on those occasions when they mess up a play. These unknown warriors have been part of football since the game began, but only a very few have ever gained recognition. Dwight Stevenson was one. Mike Webster was another. And perhaps the most famous of all, Jim Otto. But among active players, the one who most deserves to be the center of attention is Ray Donaldson of the Colts.
Ray stood right next to me, and he introduced himself. He said, "I'm Ray Donaldson." He said, "Aren't you Eric Dixon?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "I play for the Indianapolis Colts." He said, "I'm the center." I was like, "Really?" I didn't know who he was.
Okay, baby, okay.
I didn't want to play center. I still don't like it. As time went on, I got more and more acquainted with it, and then I started to accept it a little bit better, but I think I still would rather have been a linebacker.
Everyone thinks that anyone can walk in and become an offensive center. I found out that is not the case. It is extremely difficult to teach a guy to become a center.
The center is a natural leadership position. Everything sort of starts from the center, from the play to all the calls kind of radiate outwards. And so just his control and his recognition of the defenses is probably the most valuable thing, because you got to know who to block before the play begins.
You ready? Let's get it in there. Let's get it in there.
A good center controls the huddle, controls the line of scrimmage. The play doesn't start without him. So he's got to snap the ball. And in a position where you have to snap the ball, you got a guy right on your head, 6 inches away. I mean, you can smell his breath. And then they need to move to your right or left or blow him off the ball.
The satisfaction that we get from playing the position is when we make that block that's going to spring the running back, you know, for 5, 6, 7 yards, maybe even a touchdown.
In getting recognition as a center, you have to play on a group that's rushing the ball well or protecting the passer well, and then people start to single you out and notice, notice what your contributions are to that particular unit.
Donaldson has achieved all-pro status, but is still largely unknown. So would he encourage others to follow him into the trenches of neglect?
I'll tell them to go think that over. Because, there's no glamour in playing the center position. And people, contrary to what a lot of people say, everybody wants some attention. I do, I'm no different. And if that's what the kid wants to do and really means it, then go ahead. Give it your best shot.
Yes, sir, buddy. For the play, man. Good interception. Good interception.
Dick, you were also a center at Illinois. Did the Bears ever think about using you both ways?
Well, they used me on snaps, punts, and extra points, field goals, stuff like that. But Dick Evey, he stepped on my finger here and he broke my little finger. So I got out of it because, the guys are starting to crack me in the head when I was snapping with my head down. Forget it.
Your all-time center is?
The best I've ever seen. Chuck Bednarik, number 60 in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he'd get even with centers. He played linebacker. And now let's send you back to the stadium and the game you're enjoying on CBS.
All right, Brent. Here in Atlanta, our halftime score, San Francisco 7, the Atlanta Falcons nothing. Tim Brandt and Hank Stram within. Hank, I guess the story has been the aggressive defense of the Falcons and the lack of running game by Atlanta as well.
Yes, it's really surprising that they would be able to play as well defensively. They've been playing good, but they have really done a good job defensively. And I think that the 49ers in the second half, I think they have to be a lot more aggressive offensively, Timmy. I think they have to do a lot of more different things on first down. I think they're a little bit too predictable.
All right, let's take a look at that touchdown, the only points of the first half.
Well, there's Montana
to Rice.
Yeah, Montana back in the pocket and escaped from the outside, breaks containment, and throws the ball to Rice down in the corner of the end zone. Bobby Butler, number 23. The defensive back falls, slips and falls in a play, provides Rice with the opportunity to make the catch, and that's why they lead the game 7-0 at this stage.
And it's 7-0 San Francisco. So CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this message and a word from your local stations.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota. There's quality. Who could ask for anything more? Northwest Airlines, the airline that serves over 220 cities in 20 countries on 3 continents. And by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award.
It's that time of year. And Marion Campbell said that if he had a Christmas wish, it would be that he could win the last 3 games and finish 8-8 and look forward to next year.
He didn't take much time to think about that either. He spit that one right out, didn't he?
He was all over it. 7-0 San Francisco 49ers over Atlanta. Montana 20-yard touchdown pass to Rice, the only score of the game. And that's the first touchdown pass against the Falcons in almost 18 quarters.
And that was really by accident because of the fact that Bobby Butler slipped and fell.
Greg Davis kicking off to DeBose and Taylor. This is DeBose, takes it a yard deep in the end zone. And that was close. They down it to touchback. Ball took him back into the end zone. He downs it. They bring it out to the 20, and that's where San Francisco will start the second half. So Joe Montana comes on. The only injury in that first half to a San Francisco player of any consequence was Mike Wilson, who sprained his ankle, and he won't return. Wide receiver, so John Taylor replaces him. It's first down, the ball at the 20. Montana comes out throwing. This is Craig. Craig, big hole. Ball's loose. San Francisco got it back, I believe. Yes. And that's close.
Well, you talk about a lucky bounce and a lucky play. I don't know whether he was trying to shift the ball or what he was trying to do when he fumbled the ball, Timmy, but the big thing is he did recover.
Good hustle by John Frank.
Frank, 86. Let's see here. He's got the ball in the left hand. He's not keeping it close to his body. That was the problem. It was out there in front. He was holding it with his hand and not putting it up tight against his body, and it slipped out of there. And Frank, 86, came in and made the recovery. Watch him again. Watch how far away from his body the ball is. He's keeping it in his left hand. Look at it. Out in front. It slipped right out of his hand. That's what happened. And Frank came over here, number 86, and made the recovery. It was a great play because Rady, number 59, looked like he had a shot at it, but Frank pushed him away and made the recovery.
Rady almost had it. Dimry comes out of the ball game now, limping for Atlanta. Now Dimry comes back into the ball game, and Butler comes out. Montana double pumps, throws in the direction of Rice, incomplete. Good coverage by Charles Dimry, the man we were just talking about.
Here we see a shot of Rice coming off the ball, and here again they're playing a deep zone. They read the quarterback. After the first 3 steps, they know it's not going to be a square out, or it is. He breaks to the inside and then comes back outside. Kind of a circle move on his part. He really wasn't coming back for the ball, and for that reason, he did not make the catch.
Just getting over that ankle sprain. Told us yesterday it's still not 100%. He's conscious of it. This is Craig, second down. Just short of the midfield stripe. Tackle made by Joel Williams and John Rady.
Here's the halftime stats. Rushing yards, 49ers 55, and Atlanta only 16. Boy, that's murder. Passing yardage, 138 to 78. Total yards, 193-94. And now we see the quarterback comparison. Montana, 11 of 18 for 144 yards. Miller, 10 of 18 for only 92 yards.
Montana was 5 for 7 in that last scoring drive, though, at the end of the first half. You got hot there. 6 defensive backs for Atlanta. 3rd down and 5. Montana hits Craig, and Craig has the 49er first down. Tim Gordon, along with Charles Dimry, made the tackle on Craig, but it was a nice run and catch.
Here we see the average yards on first down. San Francisco, 3.1. Atlanta, 0.3. What a great job the 49er defense is doing. That's a great compliment and a great credit to them.
Roger Craig now 6 catches for 66 yards. He has 70 catches on the year.
I like what they're doing. They're throwing a ball, mixing it up, spraying it around. That's what they have to do.
Pro set, first down, ball over 41. Little counter play with Rathman picking up a couple of yards.
That was a sucker play again, Timmy. The right guard pulled on the play, and they tried to give it to Rathman and was hoping that the linebacker or the lineman would be chasing. He didn't chase, however, and as a result, he made the tackle.
Hank, I want to go back to those halftime statistics just for a second, and when you think about the difference in the rushing game, of course, Craig has had a fine afternoon, but for Atlanta, Riggs and Settle have a combined 16 yards rushing. That's it.
That's amazing, isn't it?
2nd down and 6. Craig down to the 32-yard line. Robert Moore tripped him up. Good look at Marion Campbell.
We'll see Brady, number 59, make the tackle. Here you see him coming into the picture, reading the play, wards off a block, comes in there and helps make the tackle on Roger Craig. Good utilization of the hands by Rady, number 59.
3rd down, call it 1. Reverse. Rice is going to throw, and it's complete to John Frank inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Andre Bruce takes him down.
That's really their personality. Now we're seeing the 49ers like they normally play and not in the conservative manner that they did earlier in the ball game. Watch this now. They do a selling job by giving the ball to Craig like it's going to be an outside play. Rice looks like he's going to run a reverse, and he throws the ball downfield to Frank in the void area between the linebackers and the defensive back. Good-looking play, good execution.
Gain of 15, first down at the 18. Craig and Rathman are the setbacks for Montana. This is Craig. Breaks one tackle, now pushes the pile ahead to the 12-yard line.
Steve Wallace that time got a piece of a block on Bryant, but he didn't stay with the block, and as a result, he was able to fall off and got some help on the inside. Didn't get as much out of the play as it looked like he might when he initially started the ball.
Again, the defense has been pushed deep into San Francisco territory and now needs to make something happen. Last time they stopped him and blocked the field goal. On 2nd down, Montana going for the corner to Rice, incomplete. Again, like Bobby Butler fell down.
Yes, he did. He sure did. But, you know, it looked like it's hard to understand sometimes, Tim. You know, wide receivers, they got 10 yards more in the end zone to run, and they break it off close to the end zone instead of using that 10 yards to good advantage. Here we see good play action fake. Look at all the time he's got to throw the football. But here again, he broke it off just about a yard before he got the end zone. I can't understand that. If you're going to break it off, go in the end zone and break it off, and you still got 10 yards of room back there, too.
Third down, call it 4. The ball on the 12. 6 defensive backs now for Atlanta. Craig and Rathman, the setbacks. Montana has pressure. Throws this one across the middle, almost intercepted. Charles Dimmery had the ball go right through his hands.
He played it well. Great anticipation on the part of Dimmery. And here again, they got to be disappointed. Looks like there's a penalty on the play.
It's going to be holding against San Francisco. Referee Gordon McCarter.
Holding. 51 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
That's the center, Randy Cross. Former guard who's moved inside to be the snapper, caught for holding.
And he said before the game, he said, you know, Watkins Casillas, he isn't as big and as strong as some of the other guys, but he's coming all the time. There you see him. But that time he was blocking on Bryant, who was playing on the nose.
Third down and 14. Montana. Again, he got very nervous in the pocket and underthrows Roger Craig. He could feel the pressure coming from both sides that time. Marcus Cotton from one side, Andre Bruce from the other, and Evan Cooper was in on the blitz.
It's unlike them. They get a chance to score. They usually take advantage of it, as we indicated early in the game. But here again, the second time they come down there close and having a tough time making a touchdown.
So Michael Kofer will attempt a 40-yarder, and his last one was blocked. This time he gets it up. It's no good. So once again, Atlanta's defense rises to the occasion, and the score stays the same, 7-0.
Here's the kick, and watching it go up, and hits the upright, bounces to the left, ricochets left. And look, you think they're not happy on the sideline of the Atlanta Falcons? Look at Marion Campbell, Clausen, Jim Hannafin, all happiness in the air.
First down at the 23 Atlanta. Settle out to the 29-yard line. Finally stopped by Jim Fawnhorst, and a good run by John Settle, who struggled in that first half. Atlanta's leading runner and receiver, 5th in the NFC in rushing, 4.7-yard average.
And a play like that really gives a lot of stimulation to the offensive team, and that was an indication of the way Settle ran on the last play.
High formation, Riggs, left side. He's out close to a first down. It'll bring up third down, I believe, in short. Again, Fawnhorst makes the tackle. That's how tight it is in the NFC East. The Giants and Eagles tied at 8-5. Phoenix 7-6, a game back. And that all sets up the matchup next Saturday. The Philadelphia Eagles against the Phoenix Cardinals, beginning at 3:30 Eastern Time Saturday with the NFL Today. That's the Eagles and Cardinals next Saturday right here on CBS Sports. Third down and 1 for Atlanta.
The Eagles are a hot team. Timmy, they got a great shot.
2 tight ends for the Falcons. Riggs' second effort got the first down.
They're banging in there tough, Jim.
Yes, they are. Seems as if the stadium continues to fill. I know it's in the second half. We got here, there was hardly anybody in the stands when the game started.
Well, I think they waited to see what it was going to be at halftime and found out it was a good game. They all started coming into the contest.
Riggs now splits out of the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Riggs pushes it up the right side for 2 yards.
Michael Waller came in from the backside and got a good tackle from the side.
San Francisco defense banged up a little bit as you look at Michael Walter, 6-year pro out of Oregon, leading tackler on the team with 85. Ricky Ellison, though, his counterpart's out with a pinched nerve. He's not even dressed today. So Fawnhorst took his place. Ron Hadley moves on to the active list.
You know, Atlanta has to run a reverse here sometime soon. Once they get good field position, they're chasing like crazy.
2nd down and 8. Settle. 1st down, Falcons. Great second effort. So after 4 straight running plays, Miller takes it upstairs and hits his running back out of the backfield. Romanowski made the tackle.
And Wright, number 21, Wright 21 had a chance to make the tackle and maybe stop the possibility of the 1st down, but he misses the tackle. Here he's coming up. Watch, he spins to the outside. His head is down. He doesn't keep his head up. Evidently closed his eyes on the play, and as a result, missed the tackle.
Now look at that. That looks like a 1st down clearly, but instead, after the mark, they're saying it's 3rd down and less than a foot. How about that?
I thought without a doubt it was the 1st down.
I did too. 4 wide receivers now for the Falcons. Miller. It was intended for Haynes, but it was tipped by Jim Fawnhorst. And so because of the mark, Atlanta will have to punt.
Fawnhorst made a good play that time, got good depth on the play, good backed up in that area and tipped the ball, number 55.
Rick Donnelly comes on to punt, and he'll be kicking to John Taylor, number 82, the NFL leading punt returner. Averages over 13 yards a return. Fans want him to go for it on 4th down and a foot. Good snap, Donnelly, 1 step, and gets a wobbly kick. Taylor will take this one up to 20. And again, there's good coverage by the special teams of the Falcons. Lovell got there first, 37-yard punt, 2-yard return. It's 7-0 49ers. Minutes, 49 seconds remain in the 3rd period. Montana on 1st down, faced out of the pocket, and he hits his tight end, John Frank.
And that's a good play. It doesn't look like much, but you move the change and pick up 5 or 6, and it puts you in a good situation with 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4.
Montana's now 14 for 24.
Looking here to see if he's in. Yeah, there's no question. I don't think there was any doubt about the fact he had both feet in bounds and had possession.
You know, except for the touchdown, Rice has been quiet today. 2 catches, 29 yards. 2nd down and 4, 49ers. Play action from Montana. And this one is dropped by John Taylor. Scott Case was out there covering, but the ball went off Taylor's hands.
And sometimes on a play-action fake, you have to run a little deeper route to make sure that you do a good job. Let the quarterback make the fake well enough and then get back and throw the ball. If you turn too soon, why, the defensive back can react a lot better. But that particular time, it looked like he just dropped the ball, Tim. Here's Jim Hannafin, who coached the St. Louis Cardinals. Been in football a long time, a great line coach, a terrific guy.
3rd and 4 for Craig. He's got the 1st down, but there's a flag. And it's going to be holding against the 49ers. They're going to call this one on Harris Barton.
Holding. Number 79 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That is Barton. And that's the 4th penalty of the afternoon for San Francisco. 40 yards in penalties will not make Bill Walsh a happy man.
He came into the game with 101 penalties. Very high for them.
And it'll bring up 3rd and 14 now as they mark the ball on the 18-yard line. 6 defensive backs for Atlanta as they load up. Pro set for Montana. He drills this one across the middle, and it's complete for a 1st down. Greer made the catch, then was driven back, but it appears after a 15-yard pickup, he's got the first down.
And the way they're playing that zone defense, Timmy, that's the area that you have to attack. He was wide open, and he made a good catch coming across the middle. Terry Greer, number 83.
So a big first down play for Montana. Brent Jones comes into the game now for the 49ers. So Jones and Frank make the two tight ends and Rice in motion.
If they run, they're going to run right.
They do. They've got another first down. Flagler's first carry of the afternoon. And there's another flag.
Boy, that's tough. Two big plays and outside runs, and both of them are penalties.
Illegal block, number 80 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Watch the middle of the screen. Watch Rice, number 80. There he is. He pushes him in the back. And that's very obviously a penalty. And they call it right in front of the official.
So it'll be first down and 20. And that's the third penalty of the afternoon against Rice. Flagler stays in the ball game along with Roger Craig. Montana throws behind Craig, incomplete. He had plenty of time and just missed through it. Fulton County Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. Tim Brandt and Hank Stram. Two field goals were blocked, one for each team in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, with 1:04 left in the half, Montana threw a 20-yard touchdown pass to Rice. Bobby Butler fell down on the play defending. It was 7-0 at the half, and that's the way it stayed. 49ers drove 58 yards to the Atlanta 23 in their first possession of this half. Held the ball 5 minutes, but got no points out of it. Coper missed from 40 yards out. Montana now 15 of 27, one touchdown. Second and 20. Scoop pass inside to Craig. He's out to the 29-yard line. Tackle made by Robert Moore.
Defense is tenacious, isn't it? They're every play. Regardless what they try, Atlanta seems to be in the huddle and knows exactly what they're going to do. They react extremely well against that shuttle pass to Craig.
Atlanta's defense, Hank, while we're talking about it, has given up only 3 scores and an average of 7 points per game during the last 5 games.
Well, you know, it's deceptive because you look at the stats. They're 24th in total defense, 23 against the run, 16 against the pass. But that's from the beginning of the season. It doesn't tell you what they're doing lately.
Third and 14, and the pass is broken up nicely by Bobby Butler. What a play, covering Rice in the flat. Third and 14, and Butler makes the play of the afternoon, of the second half anyway.
Watch Bobby Butler, number 23. Rice coming down the field. Turns to the outside. Tries to come back for the ball, but Butler comes in there and knocks the ball down. A great play by Bobby Butler, but I don't think Rice drove him deep enough before he made the outside move.
Boy, you don't make many plays like that on the corner. That is just perfect. Helton, the punt. He gets off a tail wagger that Lou Barnes would take at the 35. And Barnes was hit immediately. A 35-yard punt. Torrey Nixon makes the tackle, no return.
A showdown in the wild, wild NFC West. The newfound force of the Saints. The perennial power of the Niners. Next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Four minutes and 1 second remaining in the third period. Fulton County Stadium, first down, Atlanta. Riggs across the 35 and dives to the 37-yard line. Michael Walter makes the tackle there.
His Butler, number 23, getting his arm work done after that big play, a beautiful play. Knocking the ball down and falls incomplete on the third down possession. Bobby Butler, number 23.
Boy, that was some defensive play. Riggs only 14 yards and 8 carries this afternoon. It's second down and 9 from the 35, Atlanta. Miller drills this one, and it's in the direction of Floyd Dixon, but he dropped it.
I'd say you have to give both teams an awful lot of credit. Both of them are playing terrifically well defensively.
As you look at Floyd Dixon, since he fractured his cheekbone, he's worn a helmet shield, and today he took that shield off. That ball was thrown right at him. It was almost as if he didn't see it in time. I wonder if that's a sight adjustment.
Well, you know, the other thing is sometimes they don't get the head around fast enough, Tim, and as a result, the ball gets there so quickly he doesn't see it.
Third down and 9. 3 wide receivers for the Falcons. They throw this one underneath on the screen. Lang has plenty of blockers to midfield. He's loose. To the 20. Tripped up by Eric Wright to the 16-yard line.
A perfect play. Jeff Fuller is blitzing on the play. Watch him. There he comes. They throw the screen. A perfect play. Lang goes down the sideline. Mike Finn, 78, gets a nice block. Lang cuts back into the area of the field, breaks back into the middle again, and is finally tackled, but he picks up 50 yards on that great screen pass.
Oh, the second time this afternoon, Atlanta's been in the 49er territory. Left side goes Riggs. A couple of tough yards. Kevin Fagan and Jim Fawnhorst will get credit for the tackle on Riggs. Riggs has struggled this afternoon, and this is the 49ers' deepest penetration of the afternoon.
It's no surprise the defense of the 49ers is 6th totally in the league. 6 against the run, 10 against the pass.
The Falcons penetrating against the 49ers.
Going to run right if they run. There we go. Oh, they
great fake. This is Dixon. Inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Bill Romanowski knocks him out, but what a fake.
Yeah, they finally ran that reverse, Timmy, but the way they're chasing, misdirection. See, they give it back to Dixon on the outside. He does a good job of setting up the block and going to the outside. He changes the ball to the left hand, but a little bit too late. Had he changed it sooner, he might have been able to use the shoulder and go in for the touchdown.
It's a gain of 10. First down and goal, the ball on the 3. And San Francisco wants a timeout.
Third timeout. San Francisco, number 1.
It's 7-0 San Francisco, but Atlanta's trying to change that. They've got the wave going here at the stadium. It's 7-0 San Francisco, but Hank, first and goal at the 3 Atlanta.
Yeah, and of course 2 big plays. One for 50 yards on a screen, another one for 10 yards on a reverse, and that's got him back in business.
What do you call here on the goal line? Do you run it straight ahead or do you go for the corners?
No, I'd go play action pass right off the bat on first and goal.
The lone setback is Riggs. 4 wideouts. Miller on the option. This is Riggs. Inside the 2-yard line.
And Carter came all the way from the inside and made that play. You talk about a great move by the defensive lineman Carter, number 95. Watch him get into the picture and make the tackle. Here's the option. Here's Carter coming from the inside. Watch him in here. Whoop. Michael Carter, number 4. No, it wasn't Carter. Yeah, it was.
Carter was there.
Yeah, it was.
Haley got there first. He got help from McKyer, but Carter had great pursuit.
I'm going to play action pass in here, Timmy.
2nd and goal from the 2. Settling Riggs in the eye. This is Riggs. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Wright almost picked it off. They say the whistle is blown. How about that?
That was his version of the option play, I guess. You talk about dangerous, you're right.
The runner will stop.
See, now, if you don't run a play-action pass on 1st or 2nd down, Timmy, now it's an obvious situation. Here it is again. Look at straight-ahead shot. Tries to go straight ahead. Tries to slide to the outside. No place to go. Great defense on the 49ers. Tries to rattle the ball. I'm surprised that the whistle was blown like it was, but it was evidently.
3rd down and goal, and now Atlanta wants a timeout. Miller wants to be sure.
And that's a good move. A lot of times, if there's any doubt whatsoever, that's the thing that you want to do. Go to the sideline, make sure that you're in concert with everybody, and you pick the right play and know what you're going to do.
Well, the 42nd clock had gone down to 4. He didn't want to take a chance and get a delay of game, so he called the time. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, San Francisco 7, Atlanta nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Honda, maker of the Civic 4-door, Seagram's Coolers, and by AT&T, the right choice.
Chris Miller was trying to call timeout. He did not get one. The quarter ended before he got timeout, so Atlanta has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Settle and Lang now, the setbacks behind Miller on 3rd and goal. Miller with pressure, incomplete.
They were
Jeff
coming.
Fuller was in the cover, Tank.
Yeah, they were coming that time and did a good job putting pressure to try to make him escape and try to throw the ball on the run like he did.
Boy, what a squandered opportunity after that big play by Lang.
You know, they really have 2 big plays. You know, Timmy, they have the screen, and then they get 10 on the reverse to take it to the 3, and then they come out of there with no points, except not maybe now with the 3.
Greg Davis with the 21-yard field goal attempt for Atlanta. It's up and it's good. A 21-yard field goal, and it's a 7-3 ball game now, so Atlanta has closed the deficit. 9-play drive started on Atlanta's 34. They had 1st and goal at the 3 and couldn't push it in for a touchdown and had to settle for the 21-yard field goal. Next Sunday, the action starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time, followed by doubleheader games. You'll see either Detroit against Chicago, Minnesota against Green Bay, or some of you will see Dallas and the Redskins. And then everybody will see a game which should be a sensational matchup between New Orleans and San Francisco. And that one should be for the NFC West title. Right now, San Francisco trails New Orleans by 1 game in the NFC West. The Saints are playing Minnesota. The 49ers have all they can handle here against Atlanta.
Well, the feeling that the 49ers had coming into this game was justified because they were all very concerned, and it looked like, you know, sometimes you are blowing smoke, but they were genuinely concerned about this game, and it's easy to understand why, the way they're playing this afternoon.
Philadelphia leading Washington 19-7, 3rd quarter. Philadelphia's just getting stronger.
Yeah, I think in the win the East, I think they're really coming on strong. They're a young team, aggressive, playing with a lot of animation, a lot of emotion.
Greg Davis kicks it to Doug DuBose, and DuBose has a big hole across the 30, and finally ridden out of bounds by Michael Haynes at the 35. 30-yard return. "14 minutes, 41 seconds remaining in the ball game at 7-3 49ers.
They got to get some more points on the board, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. They got to move around and make something happen.
This game is critical for them. Trailing New Orleans by 1 game. Craig and Rathman are the setbacks in the backfield now as Rathman goes in motion. Craig, great play by Casillas. It was a wraparound draw type play, and Casillas made a diving tackle.
That's an unusual draw. Nobody in the league runs it this way. He looks like he's going to go beyond the back, and then from the backside, hands it up front to Craig. They've run it many, many times, but Casillas, number 75, played it like it was no problem whatsoever. Easy-looking play for Casillas.
Bring up 2nd down and 10 now at the 36-yard line for the 49ers. Montana. Rice is wide open. 1st down, 49ers. And he dives to the 50. Bobby Butler makes the tackle, or else Rice is gone.
We'll see a picture of Rice coming off the ball, isolated, close to the tight end. Gets a jam on the inside by Moore, breaks to the outside, a speed cut to the outside. Butler comes into the picture late, is a little bit off balance, and he's lucky, really, that he makes the tackle.
So they take the crawl away from Rice and mark it just inside the 50.
They've got to throw some screens, too. They haven't run but 1 screen all afternoon.
Roger Craig down to the 45-yard line in Atlanta territory.
Here we look at the Atlanta bench. They're all very concerned and very involved in what's happening on the field.
Tim Green comes into the ball game now for Atlanta. He replaces Tony Casillas. Craig, 17 carries for 59 yards. Another 1st down, San Francisco. Casillas tackles Craig. Word from the sideline is that Mike Gann, the left defensive end for Atlanta, has pulled a groin muscle. May or may not return. Scott Case is shaken up now. There's time out on the field, so we'll take one as well.
NFL Game Summary is sponsored by Seagram's Coolers. This is where the fun starts.
Both teams had a field goal blocked in the 1st quarter. It was scoreless after that period. Then Montana hit Rice, made it 7-0. Coper's missed 2 field goals on the afternoon. Atlanta, no rushing game to really speak of. And Craig set a 49er rushing mark, and he's had a strong afternoon. Tim Brandt and Hank Stram with you with 12:38 remaining in the ball game. San Francisco leads at 7-3.
It's a taffy pull. It's been a taffy pull all afternoon, Tim, and it looks like that's what it's going to be the rest of the contest.
1st down, 49ers. Montana on the bootleg. And he's hit hard at the 35-yard line by Jesse Tuggle.
Here's the only touchdown of the contest coming up. Montana looking left, and then he escapes to the right side, outside of Gann, throws the ball to Jerry Rice in the end zone, and Butler was the key because he slipped and fell in the end zone, and Rice makes the catch, and that's the only touchdown of this game so far.
Montana 17 for 30, 209 yards and a touchdown. Craig has 7 of those receptions. 2nd down and 6. This is Roger Craig with a convoy. He's close to another 1st down, and there is a flag. Bobby Butler shoved Craig out of bounds.
That's the best play they've run all afternoon, the sweeps. Holding.
Well, the best play, as you say, will be nullified.
I think they've run that play about 5 times, and on 2 occasions there's been a penalty, or 2 or 3.
Holding, 82 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's John Taylor, number 82, and that's the 6th penalty of the afternoon for the 49ers. Scott Case, who was injured.
Yeah, hurt an arm evidently on the play. It's shaking. But we have no word from the bench yet as to what his situation is going to be. He'll probably be back into contact.
Second down and 16, San Francisco. Montana to Rice to the 33-yard line. Bobby Butler makes the tackle, and they were lucky to get away with that one. Gain of 12, but that was a soft wobbler out to Rice.
Threw that right over the top of Tim Gordon, number 41. It looks like Gordon could have made a play on the ball, Timmy. Watch the right side of your screen. Rice has got plenty of cushion between. There he is. There's Gordon, 41, trying to play the ball, but he threw it perfectly right over the top. Great touch by Joe Montana.
Sets up a big third down play. They need 4. Timeout. Who called it? I think Atlanta.
Atlanta.
It is Atlanta.
Number 1.
You know, I'm still surprised, Tim, that the 49ers, as much as they've thrown here this afternoon, haven't run more regular draw plays and screen plays. They've only run screen all afternoon.
Next Saturday, it's Philly against Phoenix. 2 teams fighting for their playoff lives. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Scott Case is back in the secondary now for Atlanta. Third down and 4. And I think Craig got the first down. Rick Bryan made the stop. But Craig pushed forward. Go ahead.
Oh, it should be, Tim. Harrison Barton that time got a good block to right tackle. Got a good block so he could get outside and make some yardage on that play.
Washington pulling back now within 9 points of the Eagles. Here it's first down and 10, the ball at the 25 for the 49ers. Craig and Rathman are the setbacks for Montana. Rathman pushes forward for about 4. Tackle made by Joel Williams. Talking about that Redskin and Eagle game. It appears as if the Eagles are in control. And as you look at the NFC East, the Giants and the Eagles with 8-5 records. Philadelphia and New York both trying to push that to 9 wins. Phoenix 1 game off the pace. And don't forget, coming up next Saturday here on CBS Sports, it's the Eagles against the Cardinals. NFL Today begins at 3:30 Eastern Time. That's next Saturday here on CBS. Second and 6 for Craig. And again, he takes his strides inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. It's another first down for the 49ers.
And that time Craig was at the fullback position rather than his normal halfback spot. He made a counter move and ran to the left side and picked up good yardage on the play. Boy, he's got some great knee action, hasn't he?
He really does.
Fun to watch.
A lot of spring. Now got 20 carries, 83 yards. First down, they mark it at the 12. 2 tight ends, and Craig takes it behind the right side of John Frank. He gets down to the 10-yard line.
You know, Butler is playing Rice about 10 yards off the ball. You would think that you'd be able to do more business on that right side in front of Butler. Even in this area, he's way off.
Tim Brandt, Hank Stram with you today from Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Marvelous afternoon. Clear skies. Temperature up here 60. And a good football game. 7-3 San Francisco. It's second down and 6 49ers.
You might see another scoop right.
Play action to the right side. Montana throws to the end zone, incomplete.
It's really too bad he didn't give him the ball and run the sweep. They had a slot to the left. The corner was playing very deep, but as a result, there was a lot of room to run right by pulling both guards and getting a block on the linebacker.
8 minutes and 8 seconds remain in the ball game. Tony Casillas was applying the pressure on Montana that time. Jesse Tuggle comes back into the ball game for Atlanta. Joel Williams goes out. This will be the 12th play of the drive coming up. San Francisco's had the ball 6 minutes in this drive, and it's 3rd down and 6. Craig and Rathman with setbacks. And Montana can't hear. And now it's a delay of game.
Montana was very upset about it, too. Did you see the reaction he had? And justifiably so.
Hank, it looked like Harris Barton that came out of his three-point stance and acted like, hey, Joe, I can't hear. So Montana waited, and it was nailed with a delay of game penalty. 7th penalty of the afternoon for the San Francisco offense. 3rd down and 11. They don't get there. Rathman was tripped up just inside the 15.
You don't see two teams play as well defensively very often as these two teams have played here this afternoon. It's been terrific.
John Rady will get credit with that tackle. He's the Atlanta leading tackler with 124. And so Mike Cofer is on to attempt a 31-yarder. And it's good.
He had the radar hooked up to that one right down the middle.
He sure did. But Atlanta still escapes. They didn't want that touchdown. They wanted the field goal, if anything.
Yeah, there's Cofer.
7:25 remain.
The champions of the NFL are here on CBS Sports. Next Saturday, the Eagles battle the Cardinals. Next Sunday, the Saints take on the 49ers. When you look for champions, you look to the NFL on CBS Sports.
A look at Mike Cofer, who's getting set to kick off. He just hit a 31-yard field goal to give San Francisco a 10-3 lead with 7:25 remaining in the ball game. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Cofer's kick will take Evan Cooper 8 yards deep into his own end zone, and he'll down it there, and he'll bring it out to the 20. Show you the importance of this game. The 49ers have to win their final 3 games to win the NFC West. Unless New Orleans loses to Minnesota today and San Francisco wins, then next week's game can end it between the 49ers and the New Orleans Saints. The Falcons need a win and a lot of help to have a shot at the playoffs. Mathematically still alive, but basically just trying to play for an 8-8 season. They have to win all 3 of their final games to do that. Miller on first down, play action. Throws to Settle, and Settle picks up 6. Bill Romanowski tripped him up on the sidelines.
And Atlanta has really thrown a lot of play-action passes here this afternoon. They've been pretty effective with it.
Just under 7 minutes to play now. That's the 6th catch for John Settle this afternoon. He is the Falcons' leading receiver. High formation. On 2nd and 3, they push straight ahead. And Riggs maybe got a yard, not much more. Michael Carter wouldn't give any ground in the middle.
It's tough to run up the middle between those tackles against the 49ers because Carter is so strong. He controls the center. And if you can control the center with the man in the nose, you're in trouble. You don't have a chance.
Carter, silver medalist in the 1984 Olympics in the shot put, still holds the world record in the high school shot put. 3rd down and 2, the ball on the 28. Miller with a lot of pressure, he'll be sacked. Danny Stubbs came through untouched and gets the sack. That's his 7th sack of the year. 3rd sack on Miller this afternoon, Hank.
Yeah, and he looked like he was in the starting blocks that time when he got off the ball and got the penetration, talking about Stubbs, number 96.
That's 11 sacks for the 49ers in the last 7 games. Mike Wilshire was saying that they've had enough pressure to get 14 or 15 in that period. Rick Donnelly on the punt. He's going to John Taylor. You saw number 82. He's standing on his own 40. This punt will take Taylor back to the 31. Gets a block straight up the middle. Breaks 2 more tacklers to the 40-yard line in Atlanta territory. A 49-yard punt and a 30-yard return. Tim Gordon finally made the stop. Next Sunday, the action starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time, followed by a doubleheader games, as you'll see either Detroit against Chicago, Minnesota against Green Bay, or Dallas against the Washington Redskins. And then most of you will see the NFC West showdown of the Saints traveling to San Francisco. That's next Sunday here on CBS Sports. A look at Andre Bruce. Time is now a factor. 5:30 remaining in the ball game. This is Craig. To the 26-yard line.
Andre Bruce is always on the tight end, Tim, as you know. That time he played the ball well, but he didn't got penetration, didn't make the tackle, chased from behind and missed it again. But it's typical of what a young rookie player goes through initially when he's first starting to learn that linebacker position on the tight end spot.
That run puts Craig over the 100-yard mark today. 22 carries, 101 yards. Atlanta's defense has to be tired.
They've got to be. They've been out there a long time, and they've been slugging all afternoon. In a heavyweight battle between these 2 offensive and defensive lines.
Right side on 1st down, they pick up maybe 2. Tony Casillas stacked it up. Atlanta +1 in the giveaway-takeaway ratio, and they're looking for a turnover here today. With 4:20 remaining in the ball game, this defense now has to force San Francisco into a turnover or make a big play as the clock continues to tick.
Look at this, Tampa Bay 10, Buffalo 5. Is that a surprise? And this isn't bad either, 13-7 over Seattle, New England.
2nd down and 7, 49ers. Montana double pumps, now throws to the right flat. And Craig is hit almost immediately. That's Flagler. Hit by Andre Bruce.
Here we get a shot of Bruce. Look at him. He's always on the tight end. He's out of Frank. He's looking at the backfield, reading the play, trying to read the quarterback. Looks, now he sees what's happened. Get a tackling position. You don't think he's strong. You put the vice on him and brought him down in a big hurry. Good reaction there. Is he happy about the play? Yes, he is.
Terrence Flagler will be thinking about him next time.
Yes, he will be. Got lassoed.
3rd down and 7 now. The ball at the 23. Reverse to Rice. Rice has the 1st down. Run out by Bobby Butler.
See, this kind of a play is so important because they're chasing so much. Watch the defense. Rice gets around the horn. Look at Joe Montana out in front trying to make a block. He gets kind of a push. Not enough, doesn't get close to him. Wise move on Montana's part. And he picks up the necessary yardage for the 1st down.
3 minutes, 5 seconds remain in the ball game now. 1st down, the ball at the 14. Impressive drive for San Francisco.
think in a game like this, Rathman would have more room and more chances to make yardage because they key on Craig so much, but they stop both of them pretty well most of the time this afternoon.
San Francisco ranks 3rd in the NFL in rushing, 1st in the NFL in average per attempt, 5 yards per carry. But Hank, the one that sticks out in my mind is that 49ers rank 4th in the NFC in scoring with an average of almost 26 points a game, and they only have 10 here today.
Well, that's, again, a great compliment to the way the Atlanta Falcons are playing defensively.
2nd and 10. Montana has the completion of Rice.
An interesting observation. We talk about Atlanta and defense. Tim, we talked to Bill Walsh yesterday and asked about the defense, and he said, let me tell you something. Around the league, probably Marion Campbell is probably respected as probably one of the outstanding defensive coaches in the league, and if somebody were to say he is the best, nobody would bat an eye about that either. That's a great compliment to Marion Campbell.
We're at the 2-minute warning. It's 10-3, 49ers. San Francisco with a 7-point lead with 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. It's 3rd down and 1, ball for 5. They got it. Harry Sidney, I think, came up short. Again, great pursuit by the entire Atlanta defense, led by that guy, 95, Reed.
But he made a mistake, I think, Tim. Not a second guess, but an observation. Here he is. He's on that kind of a situation. He's got to stick his nose in there and try to get the yardage that's necessary for the first down. Running sideways like that, he got caught, and as a result, he doesn't make the yardage for the first down. Got to stick it in there tough, put your nose in that hole, and get the yardage.
Strong play made by Michael Reed, the second-year pro out of Wisconsin. Atlanta takes the time out. They have 1 remaining. Mike Cofer is on for the field goal. Barry Helton is the holder. San Francisco, 2 timeouts remaining. 1:51 left in the ball game. With a field goal, that's their 10 points. They're trying to put it out of reach here. And it's good. A 23-yard field goal by Cofer. And it's 13-3.
Well, you got to give Atlanta an awful lot of credit for the way they played here this afternoon with the kind of a season they've had and playing in this kind of a contest. They hung in there tough all afternoon. Here's the game plan for the 49ers as we talked about it prior to this is what they had to do. They must rush for 150 yards. They have to pass for 250 and have 20 first downs. Here's the score. 142 yardage, 238 passing, 20 first downs. Pretty close.
You're all over it. Nicely done. Well, it's been a defensive struggle, no question about that. 49ers now, with that field goal, should have put this game out of reach. They keep their NFC West title hopes alive and set up the showdown next week against the Saints. Now, if the Saints should lose to Minnesota today, San Francisco could win the title outright next week with a win over the Saints.
And, of course, they play that in San Francisco.
Mike Cofer will kick off. Evan Cooper and Tim Gordon are deep for the Falcons. And Cooper will take this from 3 yards deep and run it out. He gets back to the 17-yard line. Hey, talk about your flamboyant billionaires. You ain't seen nothing till you meet Robert Maxwell tonight on CBS 60 Minutes. Followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the Hallmark Hall of Fame, Graham Greene's The 10th Man. Thought they were talking about you, Hank, flamboyant billionaire. That's all tonight on CBS Sports.
Talking about people with a lot of money, talked to Rankin Smith before the game, asked about the attendance today, so we better have 40,000 or we'll be in trouble. They wound up with 44.
Charles Haley bats the pass away, and Miller has another incompletion. Miller now 13 for 25 for only 156 yards.
Here's what we thought about the Falcon plan. Must keep Craig under 100 yards rushing, must keep 49ers under 20 points, and must not permit a big play by Rice. Craig got 103 yards rushing, 49ers 13 points, and Rice a 20-yard touchdown. So 2 of the 3 have been, in this one, have been accomplished.
It's second down and 10 from the 17. Miller now drops it off to his ice man, and John Settle wasn't looking for the pass. Settle, who had just slipped out into the flats, wasn't looking. Looks confused.
Yeah, he does. He had no idea the ball was going to be thrown to him or was thrown to him till it hit the ground.
Hank, you sure get the feeling that this is a team that has turned the corner.
Yeah, I think that's a correct observation, Tim. And they, you know, the great thing about it is the people feel so good about it. I'm talking about the team, the organization. They feel they're on the right track, and I think when you believe strongly and see clearly as to where you're going, I think it's very important with a young team with growth and development.
Third down and 10 for Miller and the Falcons. He drills this one.
Intercepted.
And it looks like it's intercepted by Fuller. It is. You know, he just took that ball away from Dixon.
He's big enough and strong enough to do that, too, Tim. When we talked to him yesterday, is he big?
216 pounds worth.
Yes. And he had those balloon pants on, those zip with the clown pants on yesterday. Here he is. Number 49. Just goes right through him and takes the ball away from him. Here's another shot of it. There you see him standing right there, sees the ball coming, goes right through him, and look at, he catches it right in his hands and makes a great interception. Jeff Fuller, number 49.
Wrestles it away from Dixon, and that'll send everybody on their way here in Atlanta. 1 minute, 26 seconds remain in the ball game. They'll just kind of melt the clock now. Giants big over Phoenix. Philadelphia leading Washington, setting up that showdown next week in the NFC East. Rest of the CBS Sports Wire.
Look at this score. Isn't that amazing? 10-5. Tampa over Buffalo. Well, we got New England next week, Tim. That ought to be a lot of fun up there in New England.
Always fun when Doug Flutie plays.
It really is.
Never know what he's going to do. 45 seconds remain in the ball game now. And again, Joe Montana will just have a clock play and kneel. And that should do it. They can't stop the clock again. Coming up next, the NFL Today post-game show with Brent Erb and Dick Butkus with all the scores and highlights and the latest on who's in and who's out in the playoffs. The 49ers still alive. They next play the Saints. They'll end the season against the Rams, and they're right on course to take the title in the NFC West. And that should do it. It's over. So from Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, the final score, 13-3. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show as Brent, Irv, and Dick have all the scores and highlights, as well as who's in, who's out of the playoffs. For Hank Stram, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from Atlanta.
Next Saturday, the Eagles collide with the Cardinals. Next Sunday, the Saints clash with the Niners. The battle for the playoffs continue next weekend on CBS Sports.
The NFL Today post-game show is sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award. Once again, Brent Musburger.
Welcome back to New York, everybody, with Dick Butkus and Irv Cross. And, Dick, I guess that big game now that San Francisco 49er fans can't wait to hear the result of, that New Orleans-Minnesota game starting later today.
And that's going to be a good game because, and I don't care what Jerry Burns talks about, you know, that 10 days. I mean, the only concern he has about having that 10 days off from the Thanksgiving day is if they're going to be mentally down. I mean, if you lose the mental edge. Otherwise, I think that rest is going to help them, and they've got a pretty good schedule coming up for them. So the big one is get behind New Orleans.
Dick, I think that Irv has felt all along that the 49ers are the best team in that division.
Well, I felt that way for some time. You know, they had a lot of problems early in the season, particularly the quarterback position. Who's going to play, you know, Montana or the backup quarterback? And they've had some people banged up out there. But I think they're a championship team with a long history of winning, Brent. And that's the most important thing. In the final drive, when they get into November, early December, they're going this way.
Let me take everybody through the scores right now and get you up to date, and then we'll continue and show you some highlights and have some interviews for you. The New York Giants are going to run away and hide from the Cardinals 38-7. That keeps the Giants' title hopes alive in the NFC East. Sticking right with them, Philadelphia. The Redskins have self-destructed. If this holds up, the Redskins will be eliminated. They can't even make the playoffs as a wild card team. San Diego and Cincinnati and the Bengals will clinch at least a wild card spot, and they will hold the home field advantage for that. They have not yet clinched the division race, but 27-10, they're going to be a wild card. Dallas and Cleveland, the Cowboys were ahead for some time, 14-10. Browns put a couple of touchdowns on the board, and moments ago, Herschel Walker thundered in for Tom Landry. So it's 24-21. Them Cowboys ain't quite dead yet this afternoon. Buffalo and Tampa Bay, one of the major surprises. The Buccaneers lead the Bills 10-5. A short time ago, the Bucs attempted a field goal that would have all but wrapped it up. It was blocked. And Vinny Testaverde, the big difference today, he has not yet thrown an interception in that game. Indianapolis and Miami, a wild one, 31-28, not much time left. Dolphins just scored their 4th touchdown. Doesn't appear to be that much time left for them to get back in it. The final, Doug Flutie has done it again, 13-7. Seattle always has trouble when they come east this time of the year, and they recorded only 2 first downs in that game. San Francisco over Atlanta, 13-3, the final there. And Detroit over Green Bay, 27-7. The Lions are obviously going to win it. So that gets you up to date with all the scores, and we will continue with our post-game show in just a moment. The New York Giants just put another touchdown on the board, and they are running it up on the Cardinals right now, 44-7. Dick and Irv, let's show everybody some highlights from this game. And Dick, Phil Simms, that injured shoulder, really held up today.
Right. They were concerned about throwing deep, but he didn't really have to. He just hit these 2 short ones, relatively short touchdown passes, and he's kind of jacked up.
Bad snap here by the Cardinals. This is the way they played much of the afternoon in the Meadowlands, and you talk about a punter in trouble, folks. And, you know, Otis Anderson gives the Giants a little punch inside her.
Well, a big power runner running inside. He scored a couple of touchdowns against his old Cardinal teammates.
Yeah, 3, actually. He just scored that last one for them. And Cliff Stout replacing Neil Lomax, and George Martin sacked him and caused that fumble. And Dick, looking ahead now, down the road, the Giants have got 2 more games in the Meadowlands. They'll play Kansas City next Saturday. And then the Jets, I know it's a Jet home game, but that should help the Giants.
Well, you know, we were talking earlier about, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago when they were coming to the so-called easy part of their schedule. And then they kind of floundered around a little bit, but now they're starting to pick it up. So theoretically, I think they can win the next 2, and they'll be in. I mean, they have to. I mean, if the Eagles win all the way out, then they're going to lose because of the tiebreaker.
Yeah. You know, you can have a lot of arguments about who's the most valuable player in the NFL. Certainly for San Francisco, Roger Craig's had a marvelous season, hasn't he? He's standing by with Tim Brand, so let's go back to Tim.
All right, Brent, San Francisco wins at 13-3, and as you mentioned, Roger Craig had a marvelous afternoon, 176 yards total offense. And even though it was a Montana to Rice for the touchdown and Cofer with 2 field goals, Craig was the guy that made this thing go today.
Yes, he really did. And, of course, he ought to be thankful that he wasn't thrown out of the game early. And it's a good thing that he chose to play football rather than be a pugilist, because he'd have been in serious trouble.
Roger's standing by with us now. Roger, what about that? You did throw a pretty good right hand there.
You know, I've been watching my brother-in-law, Michael Nunn, so much. I just kind of, retaliate a little bit. That's the first time I've ever done that in my career, and hopefully it won't happen again.
Roger, you knew coming in you had to win the final 3 games, and the NFC West title was yours. But I don't think anybody on the 49ers expected this defense of Atlanta to be that tough, did you?
Well, we've been watching them for the last 3 weeks, and they've been playing well. And we knew it's going to be a hard, physical type of game, and we were really geared up for it. And they had a lot of momentum built up, and we just had to come out and play hard-nosed football and be real physical, and I thought we did today.
You were right yesterday in your assumption, talking to you, that you thought it was going to be a very physical game, a very tough game, and it proved to be that kind of a contest, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. We have a lot of respect for them. They really played well, and we played well too. So we have a lot to be thankful for, and we need some momentum built up for the next couple of weeks because New Orleans Saints going to be ready to play next week.
Tell us a little bit about that game, Roger, if you could.
Well, you know, New Orleans has been playing well all year, and it's always a dogfight between us, so we have to be geared up again. It's like that every week, and I'm pretty sure the guys have rise to the occasion.
All right, Roger. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Hank.
San Francisco
Thank you,
held
Roger.
the ball, Hank, 20 minutes in that second half, and Roger Craig was the reason. He controlled it. Let's go back now to New York. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Tim, thank you, Irv. Roger looked very refreshed for a guy that takes a pounding like he does every week.
If I tell you that he spends most of his time when he's out on the football field in the weight room. He's a weightlifting fanatic. It started way back in Nebraska when he was in college. He believed in building his body so he could take that punishment, and he does it well. Takes the punishment, that is.
You know, Philadelphia and Washington, we want to update the fans on that particular game and show them some highlights from it because the Eagles, well, a lot of mistakes on the part of the Redskins. So it is 19-10 in that game. Over in the vet today, Buddy Ryan had problems with that pork chop, but he's had no trouble with the skins as Rippon intercepted in the end zone here by Hopkins. And this was the combination that paid off for the Eagles all day. Byers in for a pair of touchdowns, and this was a slick pass here.
Well, I tell you, the Eagles' offense early in the game looked pretty good. Here, Cunningham hitting his wide receiver. This time, Byers playing on the outside for another touchdown pass.
Now, we just get word that the Redskins are not out of it yet. Doug Williams drops off this touchdown pass, and Dick, there's some 6 minutes left in that game. They're setting up to kick the extra point in that one right now, but they're right back in it.
Well, they're struggling again, but, you know, like, if you take a look at the Super Bowl year when the Skins won the Super Bowl, they were like plus 44 in turnovers, and this year they are way down, and I guess they gave up, what, 4 or 5 in this game already, and it's, I don't know, you know, you try to figure out why, what happened, the harder schedule, what have you. But in talking to some of the Skin people, it's just that they've just been inconsistent with their offensive line. I mean, they never had a set team, it seemed like.
Yeah, put up the extra point, folks. It is 19-17, and Irv, how about that botched snap on that field goal now? How big is that?
Yeah, it's a real big play. It always comes back to bite you. When we saw the play mishandled, they said, this is going to come back to hurt the Eagles late in the ballgame. Here we are now. Looks like a 2-point game.
Yeah, and you folks in San Francisco, stay tuned because we've got about 6 minutes to go in that game, and we'll keep you up to date on it. Now, some other scores from around the league, and if this holds up now, and if Tampa Bay's upset holds up, then the Bengals would hold the home field advantage in the AFC as a result of pounding the Bills last Sunday. So this is a big swing as far as the playoffs are concerned in the AFC if things now hold up. The Dallas Cowboys went into Cleveland today, and they played quite well. The Browns holding on to a 24-21 lead in that game, and it has been a rally by Bernie Kosar, which has done the job. And this is a pass going long here for the Cowboys, caught by Burbage. And Danny White over there with Coach Tom Landry. And then it was Fontenot on a 14-yard reception, and Art Modell enjoyed that one, and back came Kosar.
Yeah. Kosar has been incredibly accurate since he's come back from that shoulder. Look at the catch. Clarence Weathers one-handed, nothing to it. Rambles in 35 yards out. And Herschel Walker finishes it for the Cowboys.
You bet, and Dick, they're still in that game.
Well, you know, do they want to get in that Aikman deal with the draft choice?
I tell you, they don't want to, not by losing football games. They can do that.
I always think, you know, that's tough. The athlete, he goes out there, I'm going to win the game. I want to win the game. The guy up in the front office, he says, well, maybe I don't care too much.
Yeah, take a break. There we go.
All right, Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Now, this really, I think, has shocked all of us. Dick, you didn't expect this kind of performance, did you, by Tampa?
No, you know, last week, the Bills played kind of poorly against the Bengals, but okay, it's after the Monday night jinx and all that business. So now they go down, which, you know, the weather was probably nice and warm. And I don't think the Bills can fool around and try to be a team that could, well, okay, now we're in the playoffs. Let's start playing today. And I think they got to start, you know, getting it together. And to lose against Tampa, I don't know. I don't know if they're that tough.
Yeah. Well, the Giant game is just over, folks. They win it 44 points. They roll up on the Cardinals very easily. So we're going to have that audience join us when we come back in just a moment.
The NFL Today post-game show is sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award. Once again, Brent Musburger.
All right, welcome back to the studio. And so Phil Simms' shoulder holds together, and the Giants win a big one. 44-7 was the count over the Phoenix Cardinals. And at the moment, the Philadelphia Eagles are having some problems. Here's the one that Giant fans want to know about. 1917, the Skins just got back in business with a touchdown pass by Doug Williams, and there's about 5 minutes to go in that game. So if you stick with us in this post-game show, we'll keep you up to date as to whether or not the Giants are going to have a lead in the NFC's Eastern Division, or they will remain tied going into the final 2 weeks of the season. Now, meanwhile, there's a big swing in the AFC as far as the home field is concerned. Cincinnati figures to beat San Diego, and right now, Buffalo is being upset by Tampa Bay. And if that holds, the Bengals would have the home field for as long as they go if they can wrap up the Central Division Championship. With a win today, they assure themselves of at least the wild card home field advantage. Now, Dallas and Cleveland, a bit of a surprise. The Cowboys have hung tough this afternoon. The Browns got 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter out of Bernie Kosar, but the Cowboys came right back. And when Herschel Walker thundered in, it was a 3-point game. Now, the big upset of the day, taking place down in Tampa, the key, Vinny Testaverde, has not thrown a single interception. He came into the game with 31. Meanwhile, Indianapolis and Miami, the site of Super Bowl 23, and it was a wild, high-scoring game. Eric Dickerson with the hot hand, well over 150 yards for Indianapolis, and he scores a touchdown, 31-28. How about New England and Seattle? The Seahawks got only 2 first downs the entire game. How much trouble do they have when they come east late in the season? And, of course, Doug Flutie and his running backs. This is Perriman going up over the top. Irv, how about the year that John Stevens has had for the Patriots?
An unsung hero, really, an underrated running back when he came in the league. Here he carries the ball there for over 1,000 yards this season. Got to congratulate him on having a great year running the football for him.
And I just get a signal that it's over down in Tampa Bay. The upset holds. The Buccaneers have beaten Buffalo this afternoon. What a shock that is. Patriots with a win over the Seahawks. And here is the final score. Buccaneers 10 and the Bills 5. And now Buffalo has lost 2 in a row. Here from the game is the big interception. When Kelly was going in, he threw this interception with time running down, and the Buccaneers were able to kill the clock, and they stage a huge upset. 10-5 is the final in that game. And now finally, other finals, San Francisco beating Atlanta 13-3 at the count in that game. And, Irv, it's always that combination.
That's right. Montana to Rice. Here, Joe feels pressure in the pocket, rolls outside, and finds Rice in the end zone for the first touchdown of the day.
Now, the big one, though, in that division, Dick, is coming up next week when New Orleans goes out west to take on the 49ers, regardless of what the Saints do later today against Minnesota, I guess.
Right. They're going to have to do business, the Saints. They're going to have to beat the 49ers because they already lost to them once already. So I think they've got the tougher road to go, the Saints. They got the Vikings, and then they got the 49ers out there. So I believe if the 49ers can just win out, I think they get the home field advantage. Sure, at least one of them.
Absolutely, because they will have swept New Orleans, and so that'll put them in a good...
you know what I heard, too, in San Francisco is that they had a team meeting a couple weeks back after the Raider game, and they just, had a team meeting and said, hey, let's quit listening to everybody with all the controversy with our quarterbacks, and let's start believing in ourselves, and let's put a string together, and by golly, they're starting to do it.
Seems to have worked, and speaking of working, Dick and Irv, the Detroit Lions... Wayne Font's getting the job done here against Green Bay, 30-14, time running down in that one, so apparently they're going to win again. And the offense, Mouse Davis now the offensive coordinator, why not? Run and shoot, the end around, and Manley 21 yards for the touchdown. They even got some great defense out of a former Hawkeye, Devon Mitchell.
Well, the defense has been playing pretty well all year, Brenda. Here, Devon Mitchell makes a great reception here on an interception, carrying the ball up to the left sideline for the Lions, setting up a scoring opportunity for them. As a matter of fact, he goes all in for a touchdown, a 90-yard touchdown, interception return.
Didn't leave the opportunity for anybody.
No.
He took advantage of it. We'll continue with our post-game show. We'll keep you up to date on the Philadelphia Eagles in just a moment.
Here we go.
The Eagles now are clinging to that 2-point lead right now. It is 19-17. That is the score. 2 minutes left. So obviously we're going to be checking in on the last 2 minutes of that game. They're in a break right now. The Washington Redskins have the ball back on about their own 30-yard line. Now, Cleveland over Dallas, 24-21 is the count in that game. with the Cowboys with a chance to knock the Browns completely out of that playoff picture, and they certainly have a chance in that game. They have played quite well in the fourth quarter. The Browns with the lead there as a result of 2 touchdown passes by Bernie Kosar in that game. And so the Dallas Cowboys are attempting to maneuver in that game. Meanwhile, the Giants over the Cardinals, the game that you watched, 44-7 is the final score. And let's send you out to the Meadowlands and Pat Summerall. Pat?
All right, Brent, and obviously when you win 44-7, as the Giants did today, something had to work right. It was turnovers, it was Joe Morris, it was Phil Simms, and it was the defense, and of course it was the offensive line, John.
That's what I think. I think the Giants earlier in the season maybe were talking about being a playoff team, and I didn't feel they were really playing like a playoff team. But today they did play like a playoff team, and I think it started there with the running game. If they're going to be a real champion team, if they're going to be in the hunt for this thing, they have to have a running game. Then to have a running game, the offensive line has to knock some people off the line. And this was one of the first times just this year that I've seen that.
It's a very windy and rather cool day here at Giants Stadium. And Bill Parcells, the Giants coach, made a choice after he won the toss to kick off with the wind. His defense did the job, and they got the points. They recovered a fumble on the opening kickoff. And we asked the quarterback, Phil Simms, if he was surprised when Parcells made that decision. The toss?
No, he told me before the game that if we won the toss that we were going to do that. So I thought it was a good choice because they tried to get us out to a fast start. I thought that was important for us today.
Bill, it seemed like in that first quarter, it didn't seem like that, but in that first quarter, you were as sharp and as effective as I've seen you in a long time.
Well, we matched up against some of their coverages pretty well. We called the right plays, and today they gave me a little more leniency, I guess you'd say. I was able to check off a lot more, and I just did whatever I wanted, so it made it easy on me, and then I think them not having Lonnie Young in there hurt them a little today, too.
And then I think a win like this really, at this point in the season, really has to be a big thing for your team.
No question. We had to come out today, play well, and do a lot of things that we got to keep doing for the rest of the season. One was running the ball. I was really happy to see the way our line just kept after them. And, you know, as the game wore on, we started running the ball more effectively. And we got to do this, especially because this is kind of weather we're going to play in every week up here.
Bill, congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thank you all.
44-7, Giants over Phoenix. Now back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. Now, 2-point game here. The Skins have gotten to midfield. They are down to their last timeout. Now let's send you out. We're going to listen in on Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts.
49-yard line of Philadelphia. Oliphant gets hit, and Mike Pitts gets him for a loss. Back in Redskin territory to the 48.
But it takes great players to come up with great plays. This time it was Reggie White who got in there right as the handoff was given to Oliphant, who disrupted the play.
Calling it at the line. Only one timeout left for the Redskins. And a completed pass to the 42-yard line. Ricky Sanders, another catch. And the Redskins hurry up again. Winding down to a minute remaining. The Eagles lead 19-17. Doug Williams has Monk, and Monk gets inside the 40-yard line. Under a minute to play. The Redskins, who have made myriad of errors today in every phase of the game. And now the clock is stopped as Doug Williams fires the ball down as an incompletion with 43 seconds to go, and the Redskins are going to say to the Philadelphia Eagles here, if you want this division title and want to knock off the defending Super Bowl champs, you're going to have to play tough down the stretch.
Well, the Redskins are really showing a lot of class here today. This man especially, Doug Williams, he's the last guy that expected to be a factor in this ball game. Heck, he spent all day yesterday, one of the happiest moments a person can experience as his wife gave birth to a new baby boy, and now he's in another one of the great competitive situations that he's famous for.
Third down and 7 at the 39. Williams. Pass is caught short of a first down by Mike Oliphant. Eric Allen prevented the first down. Clock is running. Williams is getting the play. Lohmiller's longest field goal has been 46 yards, as the Redskins now have to call their last timeout. So in order to try a 46-yarder, the Skins need to get to the 29, and right now they're at the 33-yard line. They call their last timeout with 28 seconds on the clock.
I got to believe they got to get about 10 yards closer than that because of this wind that's coming right in his face. This is the area on the field where Zendejas missed a chip shot extra point. It's a very difficult place, especially for a kicker, knowing that the wind is there. Your mind starts to play games with you. You start thinking about playing the wind instead of playing just football and kicking the ball through the uprights. A lot of things can happen when you're kicking into that wind and you got a rookie kicker. Let's get him as close as possible, and I'm sure that's what Doug Williams just said to Joe Gibbs, or vice versa.
But before they do that, they've got to get the first down, and it'll be 4th down and 1. Randall Cunningham leading the crowd. He's standing on top of the Eagle bench, and here is a 4th and 1 for the Redskins on the Eagle 33. Williams completes the pass. It's enough for the first down, but the clock is running. Monk had it. The Redskins are out of timeout.
Williams trying to get him on the line of scrimmage so he can snap it and kill the clock with an incomplete pass. There it is.
With 11 seconds to go, the ball is on the 26. And now Joe Gibbs has to make a decision. He has 11 seconds left. But unless they can get out of bounds with a pass closer to the goal line, he's risking having the clock run out before Lohmiller can try a field goal into the wind.
Well, that's why you got head coaches. They make these decisions. Do we go for the field goal now? It appears so. But what a gutty call on 4th and 1, going back to pass and throwing the ball.
So here's Lohmiller. He has kicked the 37-yarder. It'll be a 45-yard attempt. And it's a fake. Coleman throws it away, but it'll be 3rd down with 6 seconds to go. Well, did you see if Coleman had a chance to run out of bounds at all? But maybe not with only 6 seconds left.
Well, you would think a guy could run 30 yards in 6 seconds, but I don't know about Greg Coleman. Another gutty call by the Redskins. But where's the receiver for Coleman to throw the ball to?
Yeah, the Eagles had it defense pretty well.
Pretty smart call, but this is for all the marbles right now.
44-yard attempt. 6 seconds to go. The kick is long enough, and it's good. The kick is good, and the Redskins have taken a lead with 1 second to play. There is 1 second showing on the clock, but Chip Lohmiller has kicked a 44-yard field goal, and the Redskins have taken a lead over Buddy Ryan and the Eagles, and Ryan is not going to wait for that 1 second. He's heading into the dressing room. Here it is again.
Great kick, obviously. The Redskins showing that, hey, they may not be the champs this year, but they still have what it takes to be the champs.
Considering all of the mistakes the Redskins have made today in every phase of the game, does Joe Gibbs want this game? Here's his reaction. And this veteran stadium crowd filing out is quiet and silent. The despair on the Eagles sideline.
It's unbelievable to me that this man right here is not sticking around for the last second of this ball game. There are a lot of people looking up that tunnel to see if he's going to come back out. I don't think he realizes that this game is not over yet.
And I got to go back to the play you talked about, the 4th and 1, when Doug Williams threw a pass for the first down to keep it going, and then following the fake, Lohmiller makes good on a 44-yard field goal to give the Redskins a 1-point lead.
And if anybody had any idea that Joe Gibbs is not a great football coach, he really showed it in the last drive for these winning points. He had that gutty call on 4th down, as you called. Also, the fake field goal on 2nd down, where you have a chance to either make the big play, but knowing that if you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. It's not the game's not over. Throw it away, line up, try the field goal when it really counts, your last play of the ball game.
Buddy Ryan left for the dressing room. You saw the tunnel. He has not come out. Lo Miller will kick off. Keith Byers is the deep man, along with Chris Carter. Here's Lo Miller. It bounces, and it's caught by Little. Lateral to Konechny. Here's Carter. And there's a flip to Byers. Byers down the sideline, but that'll do it. Loose ball. The Redskins wind up with it. And it's Barry Wilburn who gets it as Lo Miller's field goal wins the game for the Redskins. And if Joe Gibbs wanted to find out what his team was made of, with their fading playoff hopes about to disappear, he found out this afternoon. We also found out...
All right, there are the standings in the Eastern Division, and for Giant fans, it's simple. Beat Kansas City, beat the Jets, both in the Meadowlands, and they wrap up the division title. Now, we're going to say goodbye to those folks who watched San Francisco beat Atlanta. Then we'll be joining up with those who watch Washington and Philadelphia, and we'll continue with the NFL Today postgame show on CBS in just a moment.
So San Francisco beats Atlanta. The final score once again, 13-3. And the 49ers now with 3 wins in a row have scored 98 points in the last 3 weeks and seem to have it in gear. So for Hank Stram, I'm Tim Brandt saying so long from Fulton County Stadium, where once again the final score is San Francisco 13, Atlanta 3. Next Saturday, it all starts with the NFL Today at 3:30 Eastern Time, followed by an NFC East battle as the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Phoenix Cardinals.
The NFL Today post-game show has been sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award.
Champions, you look to CBS Sports.